RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What the hell is going on? Wow, that's loud. How you doing, everyone? My name is Tara Devlin. Thanks for hanging out. It is unapologetic liberal talk. Hold on. This friggin' mic. On the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. And you know what? I think the normal majority is kind of over all of the disgustingness of the right. You know, Darwin, take the wheel. You don't want to get vaxxed? Just stay in your hovels, in your basement with your tinfoil hats and masturbate to images of me and Rachel Maddow. And, I don't know, in between, I know you were angry about that, so you would call me a bunch of names and you have this sick, twisted sexual repression that you've merged your sexual whatever with violence. And it's not just violence, it's just that the Republicans, it does seem like it's more of a calling to be horrible. I don't know what they get out of it. What do you get out of it, being a horrible person that hates the world? Yeah, okay. You'll say, I hate Republicans. Yeah, I've discussed it on the show that I should be a better person. I try. I work on it. You know, excuse me, I can't talk sometimes either or pronounce words, but that's why I have a talk show. Mamma mia! I'm looking at the chat room and it's filling up with amazing people and some, you know, not so amazing. Some moderates. I'm just kidding. Everybody's amazing. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Yay, right out of the gate. And thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. And thank you, Matt M., for your super chat. And Richard is already saying another great show. And Matt, thank you so much. Yay, another Tarabuster. I agree. I wasn't feeling well this past week. I'll tell you about it. Hold on. I kicked my headphones out of... I kicked the jack out of the wall. Okay. I wasn't feeling well this week. I had a migraine that lasted basically 4 days. I get migraines. I've been getting them since I'm 4. Not 4, 11. What the hell did I say 4 for? Yeah, I was like nauseous, had a headache, throwing up. So I thought, do I have COVID? I mean, anytime you're sick now, you think that. But I think it was a migraine because last night I wanted to do a show, but when the evening rolled around, I looked at myself in the mirror and, you know, it's not that great as it is, but so it was really bad. And in fact, my eyes were really bloodshot. So I was like, I need to go to sleep. So that's what happened. And I slept for a very long time, from 8 o'clock till 12 hours, I guess, 8 till 8. And I felt so much better. I do feel better. I do have a little bit of a headache on the top here. Not that bad, though. I don't know. Maybe one day. That won't be a bad way to go, I guess. An aneurysm. You just keel over, even though it sucks for everybody else. I've had my very good friend who is in that photo behind me. She passed away suddenly of an aneurysm. She was an amazing woman. And, yeah, it sucks that people who are so great, that end up leaving this friggin' world. And she passed away at age 44. And, you know, whole life ahead. I mean, that I told you about her before. She basically saved my life when I was out there, using. I can't even tell you how she went beyond the call of duty and taught me pretty much everything about life. I know. I didn't have a really good upbringing with my... Why am I telling you this? This is not the show, but we could talk about it. Maybe we should talk about this on like a Tarabuster Discord call. We can get into my misspent youth. All right, but here we are. Yes, and Meatloaf. Ed the second on the chat says, yeah, we're talking about people passing. Well, yeah, Meatloaf. Well, notice that it's not being announced. You better believe that he died of COVID. Okay? Because he was suffering from COVID for 4 weeks before this announcement. So it is pretty gross that these filthy Republicans are, I don't know where they got this, where they became the anti-vax morons. But on some level, it's, hey, Darwin, baby, take the wheel. Let's go, Darwin. Let's go. And it's kind of, it's really annoying listening to the filthy fascists whine about, well, now, actually, let's play this clip just to get us going. And, just guys, to let you know, Thomas Reynolds from FYINation, the amazing Thomas Reynolds from the amazing liberal radio, it's not radio, network, but, he's a pretty good guy who is making original liberal content, and, we need to support each other. But he's coming on the show in about a half hour or less to, help. We're going to discuss everything. I thought I needed some backup today, given my last week of not feeling well. And Thomas is great, so we'll have him on anytime. All right, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah, friggin' Meatloaf died, probably, most likely. Of course, I don't know him personally. I do know somebody who does know him, but that was whatever. And I know this guy who he was a studio musician. He's played on so many albums. You probably have many of them. Like, now I can't think of any. Well, one was Bad Outta Hell. So, and he's great. His name is Kazim Sultan. You might know him. He's a big wig in the guitar world or something. I don't know. Whatever. I'm dropping names, but it's not, I don't really know him. I know him. I knew him a long time ago. Okay? Not in the biblical sense, but I can't get into it anymore. You can guess where I know him from, if you know me. Okay? All right. So, where is this? Oh, yeah. Tucker Carlson it's great. Of course, he's fully vaccinated and boosted, and he's telling all his idiots to, that freedom, D-U-M-B, depends on them exposing themselves to a deadly virus, a potentially deadly virus. I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to spin the wheel. And I don't want to be responsible for anybody else. Give me a break. On top of helping my country and community, I get, it's a patriot thing. Republicans wouldn't understand. So here's Tucker. And of course, I hear the cat in the bathroom. And they're making, not a good one, but the other one. And it's gonna not smell too good in here. You know how cats, they really stink. I guess it's because they're obligate carnivores. Okay. Come on, what the hell?
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? F them, their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Maybe it was the coronavirus that broke him. Maybe it was just hormonal changes with the middle age. He's now a coward. And his broadcast is about cowardice.
A coward. Who's more cowardly? Howard Stern, who is advising the people who listen to him to do the right thing for their country and community and take that little Fauci ouchie. It's not that hard. I was there. I saw a kid get vaccinated. There was a whole setup. And he didn't go, wah, wah, wah. And everybody applauded. And they gave him, I don't know what, they gave him something. God damn it. I'm certainly not a tinfoil hat. Howard Stern is a coward because, we're up to here with this, the anti-vaxxers, and there's also, I was trying to find the website of the I'm not sorry or something it's called. Something about anti-vaxxers, I'm sorry. If anybody can send me that would be great, because I had it and I can't find it. But it's a list of the anti-vaxxers who are dying now. Ones who were, these were the real proselytizers, the real assholes. I can handle that word. And then they're sorry. So they have the, please pray for me next to all of their bullshit. And we're back. And you see, Meatloaf could make the list of I'm sorry or not sorry COVID anti-vaxxers who are now on ventilators asking people for prayers or their family. And they keep seeing their radio hosts dropping dead and others, right, in their sphere, not taking the vax and being exposed and dying like Meatloaf. So Tucker Carlson wants to kill his audience. You guys know I work in media. The demographic for the viewer of Fox News is the median demographic is 65 years old. They have a very old audience. That's probably why the younger assholes, the fascists, the proud incels and all that, they're congregating on OAN and cesspools like that. I don't think, but it's also why the Fox News is following suit with the tinfoil hat bullshit and killing their audience. Go for it. Maybe this is what we need. So they're suppressing the vote. Hey, wait. What's up? What's up, Ray? Did you hear that, guys? Ray. What happened, hon? Ray. Are you okay? I don't know. Did you hear him? He was like, Ray. Ray, where are you? All right. We're good. Let's play this.
Amplifying his fears about corona over the air and more precisely attacking anybody else who's decided to live life as a free person.
Live life as a free person. These are the pricks going to basically fillet autocrats all over the world who are suppressing their people, repressing their people, the press, and everybody else, just like what's happening in this country. Guys, fascism is here. And we're in the fight of our lives. Okay. Kirsten Sinema and bitch Joe Manchin. I can't help it. I can't help but curse. I don't know. I'm trying not to. Okay, stop. They murdered democracy. Trust me, history will revile them more than we do now. And we have an opportunity coming up in the midterms. There are, I don't know, I think it's, how many seats are up for grabs? I looked this up earlier, and I think it's 20 or, but it might be 10 that are kind of in play. A lot of Republican incumbents are retiring. We must get the Senate. We must overcome all of the suppression and the repression and all the dirty tricks. But the thing is, this is what concerns me. The Republicans, it's exactly what Twitler said when he quoted Stalin saying, it doesn't matter who votes, it's who counts the votes. It's that's what they're doing. They're making it so it's not just that they're dissuading or just kicking people off the voting rolls, which is what they're doing. And oh, Jesus Christ, they're setting it up so they count the vote. So it only goes through partisan hacks like every other hack that they've put anywhere. And you notice, I mean, it's not, it's right out in the open from the beginning. The only thing that got Republicans in trouble was their integrity or their adherence to the law and the Constitution. Like when Lindsey Graham, this is the first time when he recused himself, and that was it. He never heard the end of it from the glorious dim leader. And not Lindsey Graham. What the fuck? What's his guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name. Lindsey Graham's another one who has had that transformation. You guys in the chat will tell me. His Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, yes, thank you guys. When he basically, and then he had to make an apology video, not just to the dim leader, but to all the other dim bulbs in the Republican Party. Freedom. We're against freedom, right? But these are the snowflakes who don't want to talk about race. We don't want to have a conversation. They're afraid that little white snowflakes are going to feel bad, and they're suppressing free speech. These are people who are openly calling to burn books. This is where we're at in this country. My God, right? I never thought I'd be in this position. I didn't think the fascism would come so quickly. My God. My God. Really? I thought that... I knew that we're, in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. And all of the lines cross. Like, I mean, this is probably why I started suffering from migraines at age 11, when I started to become aware of what the hell was going on in this effed up world, that everything was bullshit. It kind of gets to you. But just this morning, feeling good, waking up, not feeling like crap, I turned on my Morning Joe, as I do, monitoring the corporate media for all of its failings, but it's part of it. This is part of the problem. And on the corporate media, I kid you not, the last, I think, half hour of the show, this is on Morning Joe, was a package about Meatloaf, of course. Another one, and then it went into Adele is crying because she had to cancel a concert because of the Omicron variant. And then they went from that. I mean, we're talking about like 10-minute packages of... Is that news? I mean, is this a news show or what? It's a propaganda show, that's for sure, because they never miss the opportunity to bash liberals and talk about and frame the message in a dangerous way. The both sides bullshit, and the way that they're framing Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan, and that's what they're saying. They're saying that he wasn't able to get the Build Back Better plan through because these conservative Democrats sided with the assholes because it was just too far left. I mean, the same old shit. It never stops. They don't have to come up with a new playbook. The old one keeps working. So, so the Morning Joe was, what the hell? It was Meatloaf, 10 minutes on fucking Meatloaf. Who cares? Just say he's dead. Say he's a deadie. We're all gonna die. You can't take it with you. So why are you such a greedy bastard in a country where people can't save freaking $400? That's how you do it. Ray, what's going on? Get in here. He's acting nutty. So they went from the Meatloaf. Who cares? That's what I was like, getting insane in the morning. That's why I have a migraine again. Who cares? 10 minutes on him, and then Adele is. It was a surprising, shocking, friggin' video when Adele, tears in her eyes, went to her social media platforms to inform her concert goers that she can't do a Who cares? You know, really, who fucking cares? Is this entertainment tonight? Oh no, it's bread and friggin' circuses. So that's the corporate media. That's the corporate media. These are the billionaires who own the millionaires, who put out this bullshit message to tell the working poor, the formerly working class, that their problems are because Joe Biden's going too far left. Too far left. What the f does that mean? It doesn't even matter. The Build Back Better polls for that. I keep hearing about the polls about Joe Biden, whose lowest approval rating is not even near Twitler's highest approval rating, okay? That he ever got. So I don't want to hear this shit. It's so irritating, the double standard. There's no doubt there's a double standard with Trump, that the con man. Excuse me, I don't like to even say his names, because if you say his name 3 times, you're in a multi-marketing vitamin scam suddenly, and a con man is latched on you like a parasite. I don't get it. I just don't get it. We always have that conversation. It kind of always devolves to, what the fuck? Like, why him? Okay, but yes, Adele is crying, and the other one was, Broadway's open. Everyone, good. Go spend that $400 that you can't save on a $150. It's even more than that. Broadway show ticket. I know for a fact, because I bought my aunt and we went to see West Side Story a couple of years ago, and it was goddamn. And we were in the orchestra, and it was about $500 for the tickets, like altogether. You know, it was a lot. I remember, but it was my aunt's favorite, and I wanted to do something nice. Okay, because that's all that life is, right? Experiencing things with people you love. What the fuck? What's wrong with these people? What is wrong with them? That's why we're trying to have a functioning civilization. And just everything is coming out in the wash, guys. The problem is the corporate media is kind of doing double duty, trying to clean that shit up. As if it really is crazy making. It is cognitive dissonance. We have the coup, the ongoing coup, and then we have to hear how Joe Biden is going too far left, and why can't he get Republican votes? Why can't he get Republican votes? I wonder. Let's play the game. Let's pretend that Republicans are doing anything in good faith, that they're actually a functioning political party that doesn't have a platform, that doesn't stand for anything except more money for the rich and whatever Donald Trump needs to salve his fragile ego. They'll step right up and fillet him one by one by one by one. And then we'll have to hear from them, it was the best blowjob they ever gave. Excuse me. It was the best, you know what I mean? But that's what they would do. Just like remember when Lindsey Graham went golfing with the con man? And this was in the beginning of Trump's illegitimate, let's vote, getting so-called presidency. And he had to say that Trump was the best golf player he ever saw, and that he hit the greatest score. I don't know what golf, but he was like, oh, it was true. And then he had to go on another. It wasn't Fox News propaganda. He had to go on another corporate media cesspool and say, yeah, it was 100% true. I couldn't believe it. He's like Tiger Woods and the other famous golfer, all rolled into, I don't know what it is with him. Just like that doctor who said he's the best. He's got the greatest genes. He can throw a football thousands of yards. He can run like the Flash. He's fit as a fit. I mean, but you look at him as he's gross. He's gross on all levels, and most especially morally, spiritually. That's what it is. A vile waste of human DNA. That's all they are. They are the most horrible people. I can't think of any more, except for the Nazis, really. The Nazis, at least, weren't, I mean, they were disgusting, of course, and vile and had horrible ideology, but they weren't morons, right? They weren't like open morons. You know what I mean? Is that wrong? Am I saying that? Is that too much or too far? I hate Nazis. I hate Republicans, same thing. But I don't think the Nazis would be, they would be embarrassed to be as dumb as Republicans. You know what I mean? They openly try to embrace science. In fact, we know that Hitler, he did that tour around Germany in an airplane, and that was new. It's the first time a political candidate had done that. And it was to give the impression that this was a modern president, or whatever, modern scumbag, who was going to bring in a new day, or whatever the hell. He certainly did. But that's what always happens with fascism. It never ends well. So, are we going towards a civil war? I think so. I think so. But I don't, honestly, get the fuck out. Why do you need to bring your guns? No need. Let's just go. Just go. Go. We won't miss you. What do we get from them? Anybody? I know people are saying, oh, this will never happen. It's controversial. I don't understand this at this point. Maybe we could talk about this with Thomas. Actually, let's get him in here. Hold on, guys. We got Thomas, but what the hell? Here we go. Thomas. Oh, geez. Don't tell me. Hello? Thomas? You're... Oh, God.
I was on mute.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You're giving me a heart attack. I'm like, here we go again.
I'm sorry.
Another goddamn technical problem. I was just...
I was going to give you a little edge into there.
All right, let me see. Everybody here, Thomas, let me know. Let me know. We have to always check in with our producers in the chat room because, they keep the show going, really. So, Thomas Reynolds. Go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I love that you have producers in the chat room. That is awesome.
Well, I mean, they're just, they're supporters. Haiku does the moderation. Everybody else, they tell me when things are going wrong. What?
I think it's great. All I want is a stalker, so I'm the weirdo.
Oh, well, be careful what you wish for, Thomas. I always said that too. True. And I still, I always said, why am I getting stalked? In fact, when I worked at Court TV, there was this woman, it was a lesbian. And like me, there were a couple of lesbians working at Court TV. We used to joke about it. There were a lot. In fact, there were a few, more than a handful. And And so I'm sure there were more. They just weren't out. But anyway,
Sure.
there was this woman who was kind of not just stalking, but sexually harassing these other women.
That's not fun.
No. And there were it was like a whole thing. Somebody got fired, and she never got fired, but they paid this person off, and then she left and all this, you know? Yeah. And when we would talk about it, I'd say, what the hell? How come nobody's stalking me or nobody's sexually harassing me here? Like, I felt like I was not, good enough.
You weren't in the club. You weren't in the
All
club.
these others.
That's your problem.
Every other lesbian was being sexually harassed. Anyway, hold on a second, Thomas. We'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds from FYINation.com. All right, Thomas. This is Tara Devlin with Thomas Reynolds, and I was just discussing. So, do you want to do your plugs before we start our?
No, we can wait. Let's wait a little bit.
Yeah,
we'll wait.
That's true.
We'll let the conversation flow.
Right. That's true. So, because I was just thinking, this is something that comes up with me a lot, and we talk about it in our chat room and in the whole community. That I'm like, just secede already. I don't know. And then others are like, I read things and they say, the country can never break up. But I'm like, at this point, I would somebody was saying that one of the drawbacks would be we wouldn't be as powerful. We would immediately lose power. Good. I don't see in fact, look at England. They used to be the world's empire. The sun never set on the English empire. That is what was said. Now, they had a little bit of a downsizing in that department, and I don't see that as a bad thing. I think it's like as far as, for example, with Ukraine. What is Joe Biden? Like, Joe Biden's in charge of the world. He's in charge of the shelves at the grocery store, which in fact are packed. And Fox News is using images from China 10 years ago. I mean, this is how fucked up this country is. Okay, these idiots.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and anyway, and I'm like, they don't want to participate in the community. We in fact, of course, subsidize them, and they don't pay whatever each. I think the only one, I think Texas is in the black as far as contributing to the federal treasury, but that is something that fluctuates, though. So some years they'll get more than they will receive, or whatever the hell, or receive more than they take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know where you're going.
It's hard to talk sometimes, but so and I'm especially like Mitch McConnell and just the tyranny of the minority. The country doesn't want their policies, but here we are, because they cheat and they're fascists and they can't live. They really cannot function in a democracy. They can't. They can't even function in a decent community. Just look at today. I saw something about Madison Cawthon on a Zoom call, talking with, I think, the Veterans Affairs. He's on one of these committees. And while they're on the Zoom call, Madison Cawthon is cleaning his gun. The little fucker. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, these people are, they're delirious. They're just not decent. They're just not goddamn decent. And he's cleaning his gun. But why? Why would you do that? Is that normal? Is that a normal thing to do? Anyway, I'll let you talk for a minute. It's nuts.
No, that as a former Republican.
Right. That's right.
I am embarrassed that I ever was.
Right.
Like, we've talked about this off air. Like, my godmother, who is very liberal, and I used to love to argue with her politics. It's like, I see myself now, and I think, what the hell was I thinking? And it's like, I wish I go back and forth on if these people can have a rational, like, come to Jesus moment.
Right.
And some do, but usually it has to be a shocking event,
Right.
and it really sucks that that's the case.
Right.
Because we could be in a so much better place by now, and maybe not even have to worry about COVID, which would be nice.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. When I was watching Morning Joe this morning, they were talking about COVID and the stupidity. I appreciate when Joe Scarborough and these people on their panel or whatever go off on Republicans. I agree, of course. So I appreciate that, and they're spreading the good news. So that, they're saying, because Ron DeSantis was asked, are you boosted? And again, he took the opportunity to say, this is a personal choice, this is personal freedom. And and when the fuck did that happen? It's a recent thing. And he was going off, and they were discussing how they're really using this anti-vax bullshit as a fundraising mechanism. So, which is, it's just craven on all levels. And but just wait. Let me just wrap it up. But because I was saying, this is another example of money in politics, really. So they don't even bring it up that the root of this evil is the fact that we have legal bribes in our system, and that nobody even questions that. That's the corporate media. They don't question it because they like it. They love it. In fact, that's where they get most of bulk. I mean, look, it's the midterms coming up again, already ramping up. The ads are running, and these corporate media conglomerates, they're sucking on that teat. So they're not gonna. They're not gonna turn off the spigot. So anyway, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, even it sucks because this is a system that can be so much better for people in the long run. And it's like, you wanted me to talk about the campaign I'm doing. I'm not going to get into it. But even the campaign that I'm working on right now with FYINation.com for cancer screening is one of the things that is good with the government, where government and private industry are coming together, and they're like, okay, let's get people screened for cancer that are on Medicare. And that's a great thing. Yes. And it would be great if we had more little things like that as an example than this bullseye of a January 6th riot with the treasonous scumbags that were there and everything else. It drives me insane. And I'll go back to it before, Tara, it is embarrassing as a former Republican that this is where we're at. I'm glad I'm progressive. I'm glad I'm, going to be doing we're reviving the morning show. We're going to start on Monday at 9 a.m. at FYINation.com, 9 to 11, and then Democracy Now! If you missed the early morning show at 8 a.m. So we're doing a morning show live That's
to
great.
Talk about stuff like this because we need to.
Yeah,
we absolutely need to.
I agree. And you're gonna be taking calls and whatnot too, right?
We're going to take calls. We're going to, as long as technology permits, we'll take calls unscreened, right on, and go from there. And Twitter, the hashtag FYI Live, where you can tweet me, and the Facebooks and everything else. We want to be interactive. That was the original goal of the show, but it didn't work out quite as well as me and Natalie hoped. So we're going to do it again. And now that I quit my job because, the weirdo economy, I have the opportunity to do it. So I'm not just going to talk about it anymore. I'm going to do it.
I'm glad, and we'll be listening myself. I'm sure it'll be
Right.
fun to. We could hate watch Morning Joe or something. That's
Right.
pretty much
No,
what I do in the morning. So, but it's also yeah. Go ahead.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, it's just
No,
sort of like I can't
I-
help it. Anyway, sorry.
I've become one of those people who can't watch those shows anymore. Like I used to, you know me, I used to love watching Fox News because I hated myself. And
Yeah.
I can't even do that anymore. Like what I'll do at night is if I want to watch the news, I'll put on Al Jazeera or France 24 and it's commercial free and I just watch the news and they tell me about what's happening in the Sudan and
That's right.
Zimbabwe
Yep.
and all these other places that
It's so
don't
embarrassing, right?
exist to most Americans.
Right. Sometimes I watch
exactly.
BBC and it's embarrassing because they talk about the whole world like you're not an idiot. That's the way. We don't have any news like that. We have no news like that. I don't know why my camera keeps going friggin' out of focus, but everybody just act normal. Act like you don't see
This
it.
is why I don't do anything on camera.
Well-
Sarah, you're much braver than I am.
Well, I think it's sort of like on a sensor, so as bad as you look, it goes blurry. You know what I mean? It goes blurry when you look like shit. So I'm just kidding. I'm talking about myself, of course. You know, why is it going blurry here? All of the sudden, I didn't touch anything, but anyway.
Technology,
Yes.
it never wants to cooperate when you got something going on.
It's fine.
It's really that.
It's fine as long as I'm not a Republican. Everything's good. No, anyway.
Yeah, don't turn into Hannity.
Oh, no.
Don't turn into another
Oh,
Hannity.
please, God help me. I couldn't. Hold on a second, Thomas. We'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds, FYINation.com. All righty. What the hell is going? Yes, Jim asks on the chat, is Tarabuster restreamed on FYI Nation? Is it, Thomas?
Yes.
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 Well, the only the Saturday show. It's sort of like Progressive Voices in that way. PV only hosts my Saturday show, but that's because actually if I asked them, they would probably put every other show on, or every show, I should say. But who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter. We're not talking about that now anyway. So because there's so many other things to talk about. So yeah.
The good news is we put your Saturday show on from the previous week on Saturday, except when I was having computer issues and it just kept running the same show, which I apologize for.
Well, that must have
I am
been
literally
annoying
down.
to the people.
Yes, because I'm literally down to one computer right now. So because my laptop died over the holiday. And unfortunately, that was my computer to do everything and my workhorse. And it just one day said,
"Yeah, that's what
okay,
happens.
not going to work for you."
That's what I'm not looking forward because my computer here, I definitely need an upgrade. And anyway, whatever. Let's not talk about that because people don't care. They want to talk about. They want to talk about Kristen Sinema and shit like that. Yeah, the technology show. They've come to the wrong place with me, that's for sure. The technology show.
Well, don't worry,
I wish.
Not much far from the wrong place with me lately. So don't worry about that one.
You know, that's what I say. If this country was actually functioning, we would. That's what we would be having a show about, you know, cats or something, you know, or technology. It's really true. Yeah. Because the point of a functioning democracy is to free people up so we're not out there fighting fascism. We don't have to go and join the resistance in the fucking woods. We don't have to spend our free time talking and rallying and marching and no, who the hell wants to do that? Getting arrested. We don't. We have shit to do. We want to hang out. We want to do things. You know. We want to experience life. What's the point of life? What is the meaning of life? I always say, what's the meaning of life? Is it to funnel more money into the arms of friggin' greedy, rapacious parasites who will never spend it in 1,000 lifetimes? Or is it to create a more perfect union, promote the general welfare so we can all have a shot at having some peace and having some meaning in this friggin' existence?
Yes.
You know, where we're freed up. That's the mark of civilization, the mark of culture, where people can write books and write music that isn't about fascism or betrayal or January, whatever the latest is. Poetry. We should have the whole tapestry of life is there for everybody to enjoy, hopefully, but not if you're just nothing but a cog in the goddamn machine working your 3 uniquely American low-paying jobs for what? For what? They just, who was it? Oh, well, Biden just announced that they're going to raise federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. And, okay, great. It should be 30, though. That's how beaten we are. We have learned to be beaten, and we don't even ask for what we not only deserve but earned, and it's also what is required to have a functioning democracy. Right? We're beaten because the corporate media is owned by these billionaires and they're spreading their propaganda, and that's why it's the truth, guys. I know I say it all the time. Supporting the liberal media is really kind of a linchpin in getting out of this. It's like the idiots are drinking they're drinking urine now, drinking bleach, taking horse pills and shit, not because where are they getting this information from? They're getting it from their media outlets. They're not doing the research. As they say, oh, I did the research. What do you read? You're researching on where? 4chan? You saw a meme? I can't take it. So anyway, are you still there? I'm sorry.
Yep, I was listening. I was going to ask you. I wanted to interrupt and ask you if you were a preacher in a past life.
I could have been.
You get in those modes of just like, you don't want to do anything but listen. And that's why I love having you on FYINation.com.
That's good. I wish a lot more would listen and spread the word, really.
I do too.
Well, just spread the word. Yeah, and that's not just about the show, about the message, really. Because it drives me crazy, and I've talked about it before, that I heard once a politician saying something about something being a patriotic imperative, and I was like, is he listening to this show? Because but it might not be him. It could be somebody who knows him or knows of him or blah blah blah. This is how the thoughts spread, and so we put it out there, and hopefully it goes viral. And that's why the idiots are watching Tucker Carlson thinking, I'm free if I don't take a vaccine, in a country where they've taken vaccines. They don't have polio. They took a vaccine. They don't have rubella, like all of the vaccines. I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me, but all of the vaccines you have to take to go to school, just to go to kindergarten, God damn it. So all of the sudden, but the
you're
other,
absolutely right.
Yep. Thank you. That's why Thomas is on the show, just to say you're right. You're right. You're right.
Well, the thing, let's look at it. We are one of the few countries that doesn't have a decent real healthcare system, and we're still struggling with that. Why is that? Why can't we do better?
Because we have been so divided, and the Democrats. See, when I really study it and think about it, we all know the Democrats hold a lot of the responsibility. The old school Democrats, in not just bringing us to this, well, really to bringing us to this point, because they've enabled the right wingers. Like, for example, today on Twitter, when I was watching Morning Joe, I'm on Twitter tweeting back at everybody saying you're wrong and correcting them and whatnot, but nobody cares. But, and on Twitter, I don't know why, for example, we heard that Twitter is promoting right wingers, and they did some kind of study about it, and right wingers are being promoted on Twitter. And isn't that always the case? And I don't know why. For example, Meghan McCain always comes up on my feed. I don't follow her.
Good.
I don't, and maybe
sorry.
because I've responded to her. I don't know. And it's like, and I will get a notification on my phone. Meghan McCain just tweet. I am not following her. I've deliberately unfollowed her, and I think there's a thing of I'm not interested in this, and this, like, I don't want to listen. Who cares? She's just irritating to me. But today she tweeted something about, because I get this friggin' feed, she, of course it gives, I guess, us fodder for the show, but still, it's, and where the hell is it? She tweeted about Jimmy Carter. Yeah, let me see. She saying that Joe Biden has this. First of all, she said that Joe Biden had a 32% approval rating. I don't know where she's getting that from. Probably from the right-wing cesspool, because his approval rating is not that low, and that's lower than Trump's. So it was, and Biden's lowest number has never come near Trump's highest for his entire presidency. So she's like, 32% approval rate. Like, they give a shit, first of all, like they care about approval ratings, because 90% of the American people want, for example, background checks on gun purchases, and want the filthy, disgusting Supreme Court to keep their noses out of our medical decisions and whatnot. But, it doesn't, anyway. But little Megan, she tweeted that so 32% approval rating, and something about Biden is turning into Jimmy Carter. And this is the right-wing frame that they're promoting. He's turning into Jimmy Carter. Now, that's really annoying, because Jimmy Carter is a decent person. He is somebody he's an actual Christian. I guess that's why they're so confused by him. And in fact, when he was elected, he ran as an evangelical. He's openly Christian, but he's a real, small d Democrat. Wait, hold on a second. We'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds. This is Tarabuster. So Meghan McCain tweets, how Biden's turning into Carter. And the thing is, that this is what we do. This is what Republicans do to decent people. Okay, so Jimmy Carter, for the bulk of his presidency up until his last year, until the embargo, the OPEC oil embargo, and the lines and the gas shortages and whatnot, and then the hostages, right? The Iranian hostages, which Reagan committed treason, negotiating behind the back of the sitting president with our enemies who were holding our American citizens hostage. Reagan said, hold them a little longer, so I'll give you arms and we'll make a good deal, and it'll be detrimental to my political opponent. This is what they do. That's effing treason. But so Jimmy Carter has been vilified, really. And what do Democrats do? They jump in. They don't defend him. This is why we have this narrative for the past, 40 years, about how, he's turning into Carter. So they just rewrite history, and it's like critical race theory. They take something And it's like what's that filthy fascist Christopher Rufo said. We will create make critical race theory the umbrella term under which all of everything will be shoved, everything, and then they'll only have to say critical race theory, and everybody's like, ooh, boogie man, right? And this is what they've done. They've done that with this. They've done it with Jimmy Carter too, and a myriad of other topics. But the fact is, the Democrats we complain about, they don't have a message. They don't know how to message, but they just follow the Republicans, whatever they say. Oh yeah, they don't stand up. They don't have friggin' spines. Why would you let them walk all over your president? Even, you know what I mean? Look at the goddamn the Republicans don't do that to the Republicans. They take their disgusting Reagan character, another Johnny Bravo for fascism who fit the suit, and they turn him into the greatest thing, the next FDR, and that was their plan all along. To turn before FDR's body was cold, they were looking for somebody to to go against, to be the anti-FDR, and that was Reagan, and here we are with this shit. But all through the Reagan years, the Democrats, they never fought for the middle class. They've got on the conservative bandwagon. The age of big government is over. All this shit. But I mean, what's big government? People seem to like socialist security. They seem to like socialist Medicare. In fact, want it expanded. They seem to like public roads. They like to drink water that isn't filled with parasites because it's been inspected by the socialist government. You know what I mean? That's just off the top of my head, but it's really history is going to revile the Democrats, I think, more. The Republicans will be vilified, but what do you say about the enablers? I don't know. They better follow, I don't know, the Progressive Caucus, and they're not. The whole frame, if you saw Biden's press conference, they're doing the both sides bullshit, and also why you going too far left. And it's the same thing they're saying about the voting bill that the two scums helped the Republicans with. They're saying that, Biden's bill was just a left-wing wish list with no context about what the F is going on. The only reason we need a federal bill for voting rights is because of the Republican dirty tricks that have never stopped. They've never stopped since Jim Crow. That's why it's Jim Crow 2.0. But come on, it's anyway. I'm sorry, Thomas. Why am I sorry? I don't know. I can keep talking. If you're there, jump in.
The preacher Tara Devlin goes on and on.
I know.
Awesome,
I can.
And I don't just say it because I'm pumping you up. It's because we need to have this level of activism involved in our body politic, because look at how the right is behaving. Look at how Hannity's behaving, and Tucker Carlson, and everything else. And do we really? I told you how I watched Al Jazeera and France 24. I watched this documentary called Witness on Al Jazeera, and they had this thing about this kid, couldn't have been more than 13 years old, living in Ukraine, and he was going through. They were showing how he was going through the war-torn bits of Ukraine and going through his daily life. And he made the decision, because he didn't like living with his mother and his step person. He made the decision to go back to the war area because he thought that was better, being with his grandmother than being with his mom. and that this is a little kid, and we have to be better. We're supposed to be better,
Right.
and yet somehow I think we're going to get down to that point
Yes.
where there's, I hope not, but where there is actual firing on people and things
yeah.
of that nature.
Yeah.
And if you look at Kyle Rittenhouse, we're already there.
Yep. No, you're right. That's what's going to happen. There will be, in fact, I saw somebody being interviewed, someone who, I can't, her name is escaping me. She wrote a book about civil wars, in modern civil wars, and what causes them, what happens, what are the precursors. And we have them. We have pretty much all of the ingredients. So the cake is being made here. And what will happen is this what she said, if I can paraphrase, and I'll try to find out who she was so I can give her credit. But she was saying that what will happen is not going to be a traditional war like the Civil War where we lined up and fought each other. It will be like what we've seen all throughout our history. And if you notice, it's always the left-wingers. Yeah, every now and then you'll get like the Weather Underground, but that they are really few and far between in comparison to right-wing violence that since our founding. It's always people who are trying to push the country to be a more perfect union, to solve or rectify our sins. Lincoln, for example. Who else? You could just everybody from the Bobby Kennedy, MLK, Malcolm X. It's always left wingers who or people, especially with race, right? Well, like what did Mitch McConnell say? He said recently, of course, the quiet part out loud, that African Americans vote just as much as Americans. Unreal. Hold on, we'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds. FYINation, I can't talk. Whoa. That was bad. Sorry. I said Thomas Reynolds, and then I was like, FYInations. Okay, the S was misplaced.
It's okay. Look, we all have our moments. I have plenty of them.
Right. But it's just that some words don't come out of my mouth. Well, it's really annoying. But as far as the Civil War, so she was saying that what's going to happen is it will get worse. And there will be violence because these right-wing fuckers are violent. They just are. And they've been talking about it. The latest scumbag who was arrested by the FBI, you might have heard, he was online. They got him for saying the Democrats got to die and all this. Like he was talking about violence and plotting it. So, and also an asshole who stormed the Capitol. So we're there. They're primed to kill because it's like Al Qaeda and ISIS. The more the more aberrant an ideology, the more violent its adherents. Okay, the more it's like Putin on the border of Ukraine. It's ironic. He's saying, I think that Ukraine is a part of Russia. So, well, why do you need your entire army to surround it? If it was part of Russia, it would be part of, you know what I mean? Anyway, but, so with the Civil War, she's saying that there will come a point where the violence will continue. There will be, like the Oklahoma City bombing, things like that. They will do that. And it will get to the point the Republicans will get worse, the rhetoric will get worse, and we will have to pick sides. So not just people like you and me. We've already been on the right side of history. The people on the bench, the ones who've been watching, the ones who say, I don't know, I don't like his wife, I'm not going to vote for him, or some shit like that. The idiots who, low information voters. It will come a point where they will have to pick a side, and that's the Civil War. But I think we're there. Frankly, I really do. We've been there a long time. And for example, I don't know if you saw Marco Rubio recently. He gave a speech. I'm trying to find it. And it's just an example of him. He was saying, maybe if you're an arugula eater, you went on your Peloton and you got off and you had some avocado toast, you wouldn't understand. And what the hell that's what Republicans do. They divide and conquer. So we hate people who eat avocado toast. Now, you're talking about liberals. That's what you're talking about. As if, I guess, eating avocado toast is a sin, because every meal should be a dead animal or some blood-soaked carcass, I suppose, without thinking. You don't think about it. You just shove the carcass in your mouth, and they get away with it. You never hear a Democrat going on and saying, just like those idiots, those, maybe you want to eat you want to wrestle a deer, you want to choke the life out of a deer, you want to see the lights go out of its eyes, you just want to chomp down on its, it's like, you never hear the Democrats do that. They're always like, we're the United States. It's not a Republicans or Democrats. It's America. Fuck that. You really get tough. That's why people were applauding Joe Biden for his speech against the con man, talking about the defeated former president. We need him to get tough, but he did it again in the press conference. Although it was good. He went on for 2 hours. He took questions from fascists and idiots, same thing, I know. And but at the end he was saying, something about Democrats and Republicans getting together. And of course the questions were, you said you were going to unite us. And of course to Republicans that means that we have to do everything they want. And that's the only thing that can unite us, is if we accept their oppression without question. And so as far as the Civil War, I'm like, get the F out. I don't know. Maybe the people in the chat room will disagree. I don't know, but I just think we're at that point where it's the tyranny of the minority. But of course, I just got a little, checking myself, because this is not going to happen anytime soon because of corporate media. Not that it should. I mean, I'm not saying it should. If everything goes well, maybe we won't have to. But I don't know. It just seems like a lost cause. What do you think? Yeah, I know. Paradu is like, let him speak. Sorry. I know, but you know what it is, Thomas? If you don't jump in, I'm gonna keep going. So you gotta
But I get involved listeing to you.
Because I start thinking
I'm doing it live.
Yeah. All right.
No, I think the big thing here that we have to deal with as a society and getting into it is we really need to. It goes back to what you were saying before. We really need to decide if we're going to kick them out or not. And I think at some point we're going to have to come to the decision of yes, we have to. It's not because we want to. It's not because of any other reason. Right. It's because unfortunately these fuckers are. Can I say fuckers? I just did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. You can say it.
Unfortunately, these people really don't give a shit about anything but themselves and their imaginary Jesus. And it would be one thing if they actually. I hate questioning people's faith because I like to think that everybody is as good as some people that I know with it. But some people use it as an excuse to hate gays, to hate trans women, to hate African Americans. to hate a foreigner, a person who's from another country, and they use it as a crutch to be able to give them permission. Just like Donald Trump was the Republican crutch for permission to be an asshole. Right. And they always were assholes.
Right.
I know, I
You're
was
right.
one. They always were assholes. They just finally got fucking permission.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. That's it. This is like them going like, whew, we can finally exhale, man. And it's going to be great because now they're passing laws that nobody can say. They can't even say anything about 400 years of oppression in the country. Yeah, it's crazy. How about 3/5 of a human being? Can we discuss that? Or
Thank you.
Or
No,
are you feeling uncomfortable, Whitey? It's so embarrassing for white people too. Are you that fucking pathetic? Really? It just goes to show you. They're horrible. They're horrible. Sorry,
the keyword in the search is embarrassing.
Yeah.
The show. I think the show's word of the day should be embarrassing because, frankly, that's where we're at. We're at a level of discourse where it's so difficult to have a thing where it's going to go anywhere other than name calling. That it's pathetic. Like, I would love to be able to have conservatives on my show, but I don't think I'm going to do it. And that not because I don't want to. It's because I don't trust their level of discourse.
Right.
And I'm not going to inflict, in the morning of all times, I'm not going to inflict that upon my audience.
Right. Right. They have enough platforms to spread their lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's true. I just saw a right-winger on Medi, the Beat or whatever on MSNBC. And he was spreading the lie. It was that Epstein. I'm sure you saw Trump going. He's a great guy. Epstein. They call him Epstein. Shut the fuck up. Because somebody was like, it's Epstein, sir. Yeah. Remember Epstein. So he was like, oh, look at me. Pat me on the back because I could fucking say Epstein. Oh my God, I hate him.
No, I look, Tara, I do too, and it goes back to the embarrassing word because it's like you gotta say, "Oh, I'm an American." When he was talking about shithole countries, I thought he was talking about us.
I know.
I didn't think he was talking about African world. Africa. I don't know if you know this. They just had a World Cup type of situation down in Africa where they had all the African countries. Of Africa. I sound like Sarah Palin now.
The African countries of Africa. Right.
Yeah. They had all the African countries competing in a football tournament, which is soccer. And I thought, why isn't that why don't more people know about this?
I know. Because they're not, they're ignorant. They're willfully ignorant. They're incurious. Hold on, Thomas. We'll be right back with Thomas Reynolds. This is Tara Devlin talking to Thomas Reynolds from FYINation.com, and we were just talking about what the hell? Republicans, you were talking about the World Cup. Well, there wasn't a World Cup, was it? It was some soccer tournament or something.
I can't remember. It was a soccer championship, and the name escapes me right now, but it was an African league for the countries in Africa, where they all got together, and instead of fighting each other, they were playing sports.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, they can do this in fucking Africa, and we can't bother to do this here, and we're supposed to be better.
Well, we
Maybe
don't.
We're the whole country.
Well, I think it's part of the isolation that the bubble that these people are in. They don't take advantage of, just the internet. My God. You can go anywhere in the world on the internet, and they have no interest in that. They'll go on 4chan. That's how lowbrow. It's like when I was a child. When you're a child, you do childish things. You will love childish things. When I remember when I was little thinking, I'm always going to be like that, like swinging on trees and do I go out and climb trees now? You know what I mean? It's you evolve, you change, you But these people, you don't have, because you learn new. You just, of course, you have to, you mature. Like Madison Cawthorn. Is that normal? Is that effing normal to clean a gun during a work meeting? Is that freaking normal? It's like, but that's their sickness. They're sick. They're not well. And all of them aren't well. They're not letting up on this lie. That's what's really, that's kind of what assures me that we will have a civil war. We all thought, I thought January 6th was the wake-up call. I thought the phone call to Ukraine, where he strong-armed the Ukrainian president, bribing him, or, well, it was extortion, really, with telling him to announce an investigation on a political rival with taxpayer money. I mean, the prick, they all think, and, well, that's what they think, that it's their money. You know, they could just, it's like mad money. You just do what you want. Wee! As long, keep yourself in power. Fuck a democracy. Screw everybody that ever died for democracy. That's what's another insult.
Well, Tara, you notice in England right now, and it's the African Cup of Nations, by the way, is what it's called, the soccer. It's been around since the 50s. I looked it up for those who are curious.
Right.
I don't always try to sound like an idiot.
You don't sound like an idiot.
But Boris Johnson is going through a scandal right now because he held Christmas parties during the COVID outbreak. And poor Boris, the fair-haired blonde boy, is lifting all the restrictions to COVID.
Right.
Is what they've done.
Well, that's his
as a
response. Exactly.
And this is what they do. And it doesn't matter whether it's a conservative in England, which is a Democratic, basically politician, or a conservative here, which is a Rottweiler. They go by the same shitty ass playbook, and they take it out on the people.
Oh yeah.
Because what is lifting the restrictions during Omicron going to do?
Right.
Not make things worse? Come on.
And it's only making things worse for the people on the front lines, and they don't give a shit. They don't care about the essential workers. Yeah, well, here we were like, yay, every 7 p.m. Yay for you. Great job, everybody. Oh, put it in an envelope, like my dad used to say. Pay people living wages. But that's too much. A billionaire might not be able to masturbate in space and tell us about his experience looking at the big blue marble. I mean, it's... I'm like, what the hell?
Or for that matter, interrupt William Shatner while he's doing it.
Right. Well, that's the other, that whole... I mean, everything was just a stupid stunt for the plebs. With Jeff Bezos going to space. I'm going up with the Star Trek guy. Like, shut the fuck up. And the lady who could never go because of her XY chromosomes. I mean, what have we got? XX, chromosomes. And the other, I mean, it's like, and everybody falls for it. And the corporate media gives us, they give us the... They frame it in a way that's supposed to be palatable for the plebs who are living paycheck to paycheck, can't save $400, all that, in the least upwardly mobile country in the Western democracies. And they're like, oh, okay. Even on so-called liberal media, and I played one of the clips on the show here, one of the liberal media pundits, it was actually a segment about billionaires in space, and it started off, it may not be a bad thing. That was the frame of the segment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, billionaires in space may not be a bad thing, and because the billionaires, because NASA's not funded, so billionaires are giving our astronauts rides, whatever, to the space stations and shit, and they're using this and that and so I mean, hello, that's so the frame is, isn't it great that that billionaires have their chomps on our federal treasury again, because you know
Nope,
that,
you're absolutely-
yeah, they built it with all of our innovation that we all paid for as tax-paying citizens, and it's not a bad thing but they don't. What it should be framed like. We're living in a country that's about to tip into fascism because of the fact that billionaires aren't taxed, and look at them flaunting their goddamn rapacious goddamn greed by sending a giant dick into space. And I'm talking about and in a dick-shaped rocket. Okay, so there you go.
Well, the worst part about all that is I love Star Trek.
Right, I know.
I
know.
really do, because when you watch a show like that, you get a picture of a future that we really, and we talked about this offline. You get a picture of the future that could be aspiring. Like poverty is gone, and healthcare everybody has, and you've gotten to the point where you're not having arguments about whose religious deity that you like more, and you get involved in personal relationships. Who doesn't want to do that? I would much rather, Tara, and I love doing the show with you, but I would much rather talk about your day than how shitty a person Mitt Romney can be, even though he's the nice guy of them.
Supposedly.
This is where we go for the nice guy, Mitt Romney.
He's not nice. He put his dog on his roof and whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
woman.
What's that?
You know, I'm being sarcastic.
No, I know.
But you're full of woman.
Right. Well, they even on Meet the Press the other day, that what was it, Romney, and he was like, I never heard from Joe Biden. He never called me about the voting bill. Well, like, you're the reasonable one. You're the one who. Oh, because he voted for impeachment once or something, right? And he's supposed to be the reasonable one. Well, why don't you vote for voting rights? What? You're not reasonable. So Joe Biden should have come to you. Well, what are you saying about all of the restrictive voting bills? Not just restricting people's access to the vote. They're kicking people off the voting rolls, and they're ensuring that these filthy lickspittles, Republicans, are the ones who count the vote and certify the vote. Are you kidding me? It's rigged beyond reason. It's ridiculous, and they're doing it right in the open. Why didn't Romney talk about that? You know? Oh, nobody called me about it. Well, we wouldn't have to call you or anybody if John Roberts, another illegitimate Supreme Court asshole, put on the court by an illegitimate president, Bush. You know, I mean, it's all of it. He didn't have to, nobody was asking to roll back the Voting Rights Act. It was an uncontroversial bill. And you see what happens immediately. Within an hour, the Republicans, that's not an exaggeration. As soon as that ruling came down, within 1 hour, the Republicans were pushing bills, restrictive voting bills, through their legislatures. Oh my goodness. Thomas, it's the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. What? Do you want to do a plug? Go for it.
Sure. Call FYINation.com and put it on your browser and check it out.
Yes, every morning at 9 a.m. Listen to FYINation.com for Thomas's call-in show. If you want to keep yourself sane while hate watching the corporate media. This is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will win, because we're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, and democracy and humanity. We stick together. We win. My name is Tara Devlin. I'll see you soon. Hey, not too bad. Sometimes I make that cue. Sometimes I fuck it up. All right. We're still doing a show, though, so that's just the Progressive Voices part of the show. So now we can talk freely. I'm just kidding.
Talk amongst yourself.
Right.
Too.
Right. Well, let's talk about Kristen, Sinema, and Joe. Well, first of all, let me just talk about Kristen. Fuck Joe Manchin, and I hate him, of course.
don't say that, because I'm pansexual, and I wouldn't touch him with. I wouldn't touch him with Donald Trump's bark
Right.
hole. Yuck.
With
Ew.
his they're gross. They're just gross humans. And
Yes.
but Kristen Sinema, she really rubs me the wrong way, and that's not a lesbian thing either. She's gross. She's just gross. I hate her, and her, she's bisexual. She's gonna flip to the Republicans. I'm not the first one, or I'm not the only one who said that. We were talking about. There's no doubt in my mind that she will flip, because I think there's something seriously wrong with her. Doesn't she seem mentally ill to you? I mean, it takes one to know one, but I know. I mean, I've had a lot of therapy. I think that she's a high functioning. Like some kind of high functioning, she might be a little autistic in my opinion, and because there's some.
Can we just call her?
Yeah.
Can we just call her a high functioning asshole?
Yeah. Right. Why do we have to diagnose? That's really it. She's
Don't
she's like.
her. She's just a high
Right.
Yeah.
She's suffering from assholism.
Yes.
It's true.
She's
she
an
really
asshole
is.
alcoholic.
Right, she's an
No.
asshole alcoholic. Well, because I thought, when I was using drugs, when I was in, you guys know I'm in recovery, but people would say, when I got clean, they would say, you are a high-functioning addict. But, you're not really, that's how I can tell that there's something really wrong with her. And her whole evolution from a Green Party, liberal, whatever, to this obstructionist, this basic bitch obstructionist is baffling, but it's infuriating. I don't really care really to her about her. My only hope is to nullify her as quickly as possible by getting the Senate. If we don't keep the Senate and expand, that has to be our mission. Regardless.
Yes.
Yeah, and the House. We have to keep the House in spite of Nancy Pelosi being useless, and I know some people like her.
Can we just call her a debutante?
Yeah.
She's a debutante.
She's just,
Big word.
right. Like on January 6th, she had the cast of Hamilton zoom in and put on a performance. Like, shut the fuck up. Really? It just smacked of, look, there's no sense of urgency here. As if the Republicans are going to come to finally embrace democracy by watching Hamilton. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it's for them, too. It's not for the people. This is on C-SPAN. It's for the insiders in the Senate. I mean, in the House. They get... We are here. I wish I had that clip. I had it somewhere. Anyway. But, yeah. In spite of Nancy... In spite of Mitch McConnell. All these old crackers that were part of the... even Joe Biden, frankly. But, okay. I appreciate what he's doing. I'm glad he's not the Joe Biden of old. He seems to understand what we always knew, and that we need a new deal. And but the thing is with Biden, I think he always knew that, frankly. But whatever, he was playing both sides, I suppose. I don't know, but that's the thing. You get into Congress, it seems like you're just awash with so many bribes, and you're not. And because the system is set up to elevate horrible people, then the bribes, I think, really go do something to them, and they lose track. That's why we gotta elect people that aren't taking bribes, even if the system allows it. Mm-hmm.
You also have to pay attention, and it's not just like, I'm a big advocate of not just progressive radio, but tuning into other places like international, like you do with BBC and I do with France 24 and Al Jazeera. You have to be able to open your mind to the possibilities that other things are out there, and things can be made differently if you explore those other options, because then you get a broader perspective, and it's not just Nancy Pelosi and this and that. It's Boris Johnson, and it's the crazy Marie Le Pen, who's just, you think Donald Trump is batshit crazy. Right. I'm Marie Le Pen, and I hope I'm getting her name right. I don't really care if I'm not.
Yeah, everybody knows what you're talking about.
She's a screwball racist.
Yep.
And she luckily does not have enough ability to get into power, but that system is there, and we have to pay attention. Yeah. Because if we don't, it might ride up on us, and we end up like Hong Kong, realizing what happened to our system.
That's right.
Oh my God, it's lost.
That's right. And that's how it goes. And that's why we have to be hyper vigilant about fascism. But, I mean, we're already here. I've been saying that for years about fascism. And people will be like, can't talk about Nazis. Don't talk about Nazis because that's offensive. It makes you crazy. You're crazy. Well, if it's a Nazi, if it's quacking like a Nazi and walking like a Nazi, it's a goddamn duck. I mean, and a Nazi. So, right? No, absolutely. Because, it goes back to what I was saying about Mitt Romney on the Progressive Voices side. He's supposed to be the nice one at this point. Yeah. I mean, it boggles my mind that that's where we're at. And if you ask a Trump-looking, those poor bastards think he's a Democrat at this point. And because they're so out of sync with everybody else. And it's really scary. If you could permit me to, real quick. Of course. I want to mention, kind of off the cuff, I was supposed to do it on the Progressive Voices side, and I didn't. We could do it again. We could do it again. But FYINation is working on things. We need money, like everybody else, to run, and I don't want to run commercials. So I partnered with people who I believe in, and one of the things is this free, well, not free, it's paid for by Medicare cancer screening home kit. So if you have Medicare and you qualify, Medicare will pay for the supplement that you get. And basically, you get a home. All you have to be is over 18 and have Medicare and a few other stipulations, and with cancer, and you can qualify for this. And we get if you qualify, we get a little bit of helping hand with it, and it helps us stay on the air. So how do people do that? Yeah.
Yeah, so what they need to do is, I'm just pulling it up now, and of course it doesn't technology.
I know,
is
right?
Go to the best thing is to go to our FYINation Facebook page, and on the pinned post, there's a video where my friend Troy talks all about it and what to do. And we have a toll-free number that you can call in the Times. It's 855-740-5180. That's 1-855-740-5180, and 9 to 5 Monday through Friday they're available.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Tell me again. Wait, hold on, because I want to write it. I want to put it on the screen.
Sure. It's 1-855.
Wait a minute.
740.
See, look, it's live. We're doing it live. Okay, 1. Let's do it. 1 what? 855.
740.
5180. Boom. And then what? And what is this?
And then you call the number during the week, Monday through Friday. I have Saturday up, but they changed the hours. You call the number during the week, and what we do is, you might even talk to me, by the way. doing
It's like
it.
a telethon.
We, yeah, I know, right? We get all the information to see if you're going to be eligible for a screening for cancer.
Okay.
And
If you're
it's
on
really the
Medicaid
cause-
already? If this is...
Medicare, and I believe you can be on Medicaid as well.
Oh, okay, Medicare.
We just qualify you, and as long as you're qualified, if you look, even if you're not, and you know somebody who is, with COVID going around, everybody forgets about cancer. And my dad just went through a cancer scare. Cancer is the big C that is always there, unfortunately. And having lost so many people, I really believe in this, and it's not like selling something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's no cost to the person. They just have to qualify, and we do all the qualification over the phone.
That's great.
It's really simple.
That's a great thing. And nothing is coming out of the people's pocket. You're getting paid by the whatever who you're trying to you're sending the people to. So that's good. So it's at no cost, and you got nothing to lose.
Exactly, and maybe fight cancer.
That's great.
Who doesn't want to fight cancer?
And this is really an opportunity for people listening and who have Medicaid or Medicare, and to be like, oh, gee, I need to do this. Now you got to do it. You just got to make the appointment.
Yeah.
But first call Thomas, and he and the others and his staff will guide you through the process. So that's great.
Now you might get Francis, which is my middle name that I go by on the phone. So if you get Francis, that's me.
Well, I
I'm
think
a little
that they'll
sneaky that I
figure it
am.
out. Oh, I see. Well, yeah, that's my cat's name. Did you name yourself after Francis? Junior?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And the other thing is, even if you look, and I wish I did this earlier, but we had such a good conversation. If you want to, if you aren't on Medicare, but you know somebody who is, share the post. It's pinned right on the top of FYINation. Try and help us get this post to go viral, because we're trying to help as many people as we can, and you'll get a call from the office the next day if you qualify. So even if it's after hours, they close at 5 o'clock, we stay open till 9 to qualify more people.
Oh, that's good.
Because that's how it works.
Oh, great. I hope that everybody who's listening and is eligible, well, if you have Medicaid or Medicare, call this number, 855-740-5180. Do yourself, I mean, that might be the best call you make all day, all year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good, Thomas. And it's a good way to keep the liberal media going and growing while also taking care of your health in this effed up country. Right?
Yes, because you know me, absolutely, because one of the things about FYINation.com is we don't do regular commercials. I do commercial radio. So I try to, if I do anything, like we have a thing about the Affordable Care Act, where we have some ways to be able to get on the Affordable Care Act, so we can help you get on that if you're not insured. We want to do things which help our community, and go from there. And again, if you know somebody who isn't and you want to get them insured, that's something we can do, because it's vital, and it's an exchange part of it. So it's legitimate, and all we're doing is facilitating the ability for people to get the information, and we feel that it's with our philosophy that we can get away with doing it and make a little bit of money for the network as well.
Exactly, and you're being completely open and transparent about it, so it's no little rig thing or bait and switch or whatever. Yeah, you're right out there saying, I'm getting a kickback, but I believe in this program. I wouldn't be selling it you're advising. Yeah, it's sort of like, what do they call that? It's like being there's a word for that. Affiliate. That's what it is. Yes. Yes.
Affiliate, exactly. It's we have an affiliate relationship where we are just getting the word out, and it's a part of the business that I do during the day, being able to quit my job so I could do the radio show, and it keeps everything alive.
That's awesome.
And if you like progressive radio and us, we hope you listen more. And now that I'm using a proper computer, things will be updated more. Again, I apologize about that. That was embarrassing. But we're a one non-binary operation here, so it makes it interesting.
Right, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. I think that's a good way to keep your FYInation going, and everybody can benefit. Really, it's not just me saying, or come and join or become a patron or whatever. This is a very good thing that I think it's sort of like when you make a doctor's appointment. I just recently went to the doctor after not going since I was in the hospital a few years ago, and it was one of those things, just make the goddamn appointment, and now here it is. So I'm all screwed up.
Well, that's exactly it. And even if you don't say know somebody, like you're in a situation where you don't have Medicare, but you know somebody who does, give them this information, and we'll be more than happy to do it and help them, because this is what a community is all about. We're trying to uplift our community and get people on the Affordable Care Act if they don't have it. And we're not selling anything.
Right.
If you choose to buy the product on the exchange, that's all up to you. You're just calling in to find out the information.
Right.
And it's a way to get more people involved to do that. And if we could help more people during the week, I could do a show. We can have you on the air. We can hopefully get more progressive voices on the air, which is the FYInation philosophy, and go from there. And that's all I'm trying to do with it.
That's great, Thomas. Thank you. And I'll keep that number up so people can write it down. I'm not sure. Can you see the screen that I'm looking at right now? Are you looking at?
I can. My computer is too slow.
Oh, okay. We're looking at some Kristen Sinema outfits, and it's on. Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at some of her outfits, and there was people were talking about her when she thumbs down the voting rights bill. How she was wearing, I'm trying to find it. She was wearing she's wearing all red, also a cross around her neck, which,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's fine. The cross is fine, but she used to be supposedly an avowed atheist. Why can't I find this goddamn thing? And, yeah, so that's just confirmation.
I gotta say something about that. I gotta say that I've been back and forth on religion, where I've been an atheist and I've been somebody who is a believer, and that's something you can go back and forth on.
Yeah, but you're not disingenuous.
Well, that's what
attention seeker.
Where I was going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's where I was going with that. What pisses me off about her is she's using it as, again, like Donald Trump being okay to talk about anybody any kind of way. Yep. She's using it as a crutch. Yep. Grow the fuck up.
Well, it's
just
like,
grow the fuck up.
Yeah, it's just, to me, there's something wrong with her. Her outfits speak to that, because it's out of place, too. It screams, look at me. Her denim vest while she's presiding over the Senate. What an insult. Yeah. So she's, I mean, she'd be a perfect Republican because she fits right in with their disdain for the government that the founders fought a revolution to entrust to us. And but it's not just that. I didn't know, because I didn't care about her. And Tara Jr., stop it. Hold on.
No worries.
He's getting crampy and cranked out, cranky in his old age. I get
That's
it.
how I am at night. I'm an old lady at night.
He just wants to be pet nonstop, and when I stop, he is like, ah! And then he starts trying to make my hand go over his back. So, and then he gets mad. Look at him. Look at him. He's funny. He's looks like he wants to pounce.
Sarah, I want to thank you for.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to thank you for inviting me on. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, okay. I guess you're leaving. You're leaving me too?
I have to. My daughter's mother is messaging me, and I gotta.
Sure, abandon me. I'm just kidding.
Make me feel guilty about it. But no, I just remember if we support shows like yours and progressive radio, we could have such a better place. And by the way, This weekend I'll be updating FYINation.com, so it'll be a better website.
All right. You never stop, Thomas. That's the thing.
I
appreciate
keep
that
going.
about you. And so many other things. Thank you so much, Thomas. And we'll talk to you later. Love you.
No problem. Bye.
Talk to you soon. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I'm sorry, we still have a couple of minutes. And, of course, that was Thomas Reynolds, FYINation.com. And thank you, guys, for your super chats. Jim, thank you for your super chat. Richard W., and thank you, Matt M., for your super chat. And Shadow Star Ace, thank you so much. And thank you, Ed the Second. And thank you, JD. Hi, y'all, for your super chat. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, let's look at Kristen Sinema's outfits. And it's funny. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I gotta get better at, like, shutting my mouth when people are... But that's... The thing was, he wasn't saying anything. So, then I get this in my head. I'm thinking, gotta keep talking, because, this is radio, and I figured... It's hard, I guess, when you're doing it live and wait a minute, what the hell? And when Thomas is on the phone, I can't see him. So, it's hard. There's worse things in life. I know. Where the fuck? You know what's hard? It's driving this show. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this. What a bitch. That's my commentary. She sucks. We know that. And when I was looking at her outfits, they're terrible. Not that I'm a fashion plate, but I wouldn't wear this in the Senate. Like, hi, y'all. Ugh, gross. Hi, Mitchie. She apparently, after her thumbs down on voting rights for humans in this, it's not just people who have darker pigment. We're talking about saving democracy, and this bitch is like, bing bong. She knows it. The thing that's so irritating is that all of the organizations and the family of Martin Luther King Jr. and on and on, liberals, her other Democrats, not just the left, human beings, normal people, say we are in an existential crisis of democracy because of the Republicans putting the kibosh by passing all of these restrictive voting laws. And it's not, you want to, okay, let's look into one. Hold on. Everything is screwing up now. Where's the eCam? The fuck? You see what I'm saying? Okay. We can go a little longer tonight when the show ends. If you want, to make up for lost time. Maybe a little bit. Since I'm feeling a little better. Lemonade. Crystal Light. I recommend it. I get on a kick, I'll drink the same things, I'll eat the same things. And then I'll eat another something that's the same. for a month. Ugh. Look at that. Ugh. I want to vomit. She's just an attention whore. No offense to sex workers, because at least they're honest. And after she put the kibosh on democracy, all the Republicans went over and they high-fived her and surrounded her and thanked her for her courage, believe it or not, for standing up to principle or for principle or some bullshit. And I was actually reading an article in, I think, the Atlantic or the New Yorker about Kristen Sinema's principled stance for democracy. Are you fucking kidding me? That's bullshit. It's a ruse. We know that it was a month ago that Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin supported changes to the filibuster for the debt ceiling, and it's changed over 100 times in the history of its history, and it doesn't go back to the founding, and it's not in the Constitution. So when Joe Manchin got up there saying this is the unprecedented since in 230 something years, he was lying, even though on the sign that he had it said it's a lie that something about whatever. He was lying. So he's saying they're lying, here's my lie. This is the lie clearing up something that's true. But, you know, we live in this bizarro world of insanity. Uh-oh, here he comes again. You see? Here comes Tara Jr. Don't look him in the eye. That'll just encourage him. Unreal. But, alright, where is this cinema bitch? Hold on. Jesus Christ. Here's one. Okay, Arizona bill. You think that voter suppression is a myth? No, of course, we don't think. This is from azcentral.com. Still think voter suppression is a myth? This Republican bill proves otherwise. Yesterday. Elvia Diaz. Elvia? Yeah, I guess. Arizona State Rep Walt Blackman, that's his name, come on. All right, here he comes. Is busting the Republican narrative that voter suppression is just a myth. There are a flurry of bills being introduced in the Arizona legislature. This is the same Arizona where we had the video of them signing false electoral ballots. I mean, these bastards. And nobody's in jail. How come, I gotta ask again, why is Steve Bannon walking around free? I don't know if I or you or anybody listening, if we had defied a congressional subpoena, would I be doing my podcast? It's fucked up. There's a flurry of bills being introduced to the Arizona legislature that Republicans say deal with election integrity. But they are just tools to make it harder for people to vote. Don't believe me? Here's Exhibit A. Blackman is proposing that early voting occur only by request, and that non-early voting must take place at a polling place or a center. Blackman also wants to require a new voter ID card, which will require, guess what? In order to get this card, you need a passport or a citizen certificate or other documents to vote. On top of that, anyone voting in person would also need fingerprints or what they call a unique security code. I'm not putting up with this. All right? Here. You better stop. Get a grip. I don't know what to do with him. Look at him. It's like high five. Hey. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. Look, watch. You okay? You okay? Calm down, Mama. Jesus. Jeez Louises. Blackman also wants to require a new voter ID card, okay, which will require a passport or certificate of citizenship or other documents not reported here. On top of that, anyone voting in person would also need fingerprints or a unique security code to register. It's a hurdle to keep people from voting. Of course it is. These bastards. How many Americans have passports? Americans, I know it's low. Especially as compared to the rest of the world, Americans passports. Let me see how many. 2001, 15 million. What? Oh, they were issued. Come on, man. What is the percentage? Okay, listen. The percentage of Americans with passports, although the number of U.S. passport holders is growing. You know, Manny, this is in 2020. 42% of the American people have passports. 42. That means they have no plans of going anywhere outside the United States. And why would you want to? You can you can't carry your assault weapon through Walmarts in any other civilized nation. So why would these yokels leave? They're too cowardly. Oh, well, especially now in the pandemic. They're not, nobody wants them. We don't want them here. They don't want them there. Nobody wants them. That's why they have to wreck this country. Because they got to make it, they really are just trying to drag the country down to their level because they are too weak and cowardly to evolve. It really is the truth. Oh, God, that's what... This one says 10%? This is from the BBC. From January 2018. It's often... What does it say? It's often said that only 10% of Americans have passport, but that's not true for more than 20 years. So, okay. Maybe it was true at one time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But still, let's just stick to the 42%. That's very low. And it costs money to get a passport, so that's a poll tax. It costs a lot of money if you're living paycheck to paycheck and can't save $400. I know that's one of the barriers for this country having a low rate of people who have passports. And it's a little different in Europe, I know, where you can... I mean, it must be great. Why was I born here? I would love to just take the fucking train on the weekend to go to Italy and see the ruins of Pompeii. You know? Instead of the ruins of Sunnyside, Queens. No, there's nothing in ruins. Here, the ruins in Mitch McConnell's district. That's true. We had UN inspectors come in, and we're the only developed country that has, I think we had sewage shit. People in people's houses, they were living in open sewage pits. Well, they should have just pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and married a billionaire or something. Jesus Christ. Oh, friggin' Christ. Here he comes. Again. Hello, Pookie's Mama Irene. Thank you so much for your super chat. I love my cat. Don't get me wrong. He's just being annoying. He's being annoying with the biting. This is new. The biting is new. All right. Looks like the end of this show. It doesn't matter. Because we're going to go long tonight. That's what she said. This is Tara Devlin. Yep. Guess I'll turn this off now. We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of goddamn everything. Decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Right? What else? Morality, spirituality. Hello. And we will win. Because they know it. That's what they got to cheat. My name is Tara Devlin. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin and keep coming back. It works if you work it, so work it. You're worth it and live it. All right, be good. I don't want to. Hey. All right, enough. This is it. I'm putting him in the bedroom. You're bothering me. I love you, but you're bothering me. You know what? Well, while I put Junior in the bedroom, I wanted to play this from, and we could talk about this. This is from CNN, and I just wanted to show an example of, well, CNN is calling out the misinformation. Yet, at the end of the segment, it ends with a Republican coming on to be questioned and whatever the hell they do on these panels, and spread lies. So and nothing is said. There's just more lies being pushed out into the dumb ears of Republicans. Oh shit, where the heck is it? You know, eCam's so weird. There's like two screens. I don't know which one is which. Oh god. Alright, here we go. Why is she still like this? Here we go.
Fox. I don't call it news, even if they do, because it's not news. It is lucrative, however, raking in hundreds of millions of dollars for Fox Corp last year as it shovels out stuff like this.
Of all the things that January 6th was, it was definitely not a violent terrorist attack.
So let's not take the word of Fox's chief propagandist on that. Let's see what Chris Wray, Donald Trump's pick to head the FBI, says.
Unfortunately, as you noted, Mr. Chairman, January 6th was not an isolated event. The problem of domestic terrorism has been metastasizing across the country for a long time now, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Tucker Carlson, not one to let that get in the way of gaslighting 3 million people a night. He explains it away by amplifying a conspiracy theory that it was actually the FBI that instigated the attack on the Capitol.
Strangely, some of the key people who participated on January 6th have not been charged. Look at the document. The government calls those people unindicted co-conspirators. What does that mean? Well, it means that in potentially every single case, they were FBI operatives.
The case that Carlson is talking about goes back to June. It involved...
So the unindicted co-conspirators were FBI operatives. Well, why wouldn't the Republicans want to investigate this thing that was I don't know what the hell. It was some patriots on a tour sprinkled in with FBI agent provocateurs, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and the QAnon shaman? People are believing it. Because, not only are suckers born every minute and Trumpanzees are living proof, but in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. They have let their freak flag fly.
Thomas Caldwell, who has pled not guilty, and according to statements in court documents, that alleged operative was most likely his wife. And you'd think that Carlson would know this. After all, he interviewed Caldwell and his wife not once but twice. The second time for a 50-minute long interview 5-0. Carlson dedicates so much airtime to disinformation that he produced a 3-part documentary, and in it, he pushes other conspiracy theories like Antifa being behind the attack, which is a Fox favorite.
There were likely not all Trump supporters, and there are some reports that Antifa sympathizers may have been sprinkled throughout the crowd.
Oh, yes. I didn't get my Antifa marching orders that day. Because Antifa's not an organization, you dumb bitch. I know that. Everybody knows it. The FBI knows it. But why don't you know it? Because you're a propagandist. And God damn it, you better believe history's gonna revile you. I hope that we get to revile them legally and peacefully, though. Yes, Haiku says, maybe Jones Jr. needs some Prozac. I think he does. And I actually went to, when he was at the doctor the last time, I mentioned this, and I said, can you give him something, like Valium or something? And he was like, well, I don't want to make him drugged up or something. But I'm not asking to drug him up. I just want him to be peaceful and calm. It's Ray. I think it's partly Ray. It's partly his allergies. He's not comfortable. He's going to the doctor for that. And, he's scratching a lot. So, but Ray, I'm just sick of it now. I'm over it. I'm not talking about Ray. I'm talking about Tara Jr. hissing at Ray all the time. They'll just pass in the hall. And Tara Jr. will be like, just like, I hate you. And Ray, you know what Ray does? He just falls down and will show him his stomach, and he'll get small because he's not trying to fight him. So I look at it like Ray is trying. He's trying. And Tara Jr. is just being a bastard. And I've done everything with the Jackson Galaxy stuff. I have those feel-away things in the house supposed to be scent, and it's supposed to calm them. I have, what else do I have? I give them, there's something that they can take. It's over the counter. I give them that, whatever the hell that is, supposed to calm them down. And I do everything. I feed them together. I don't know, man. All right, I'm sorry. This is not cat talk. This is Laura Ingraham talk.
He also knew that there's always bad actors that will infiltrate large crowds.
Oh, you pinhead.
You want to know how disingenuous those comments are? Those same hosts were texting Trump's chief of staff during the attack, trying to get him to call off the crowd. And some Trump supporters charged in the riot don't want to share credit. So that tells you something.
Yeah, and we know that DirecTV, they're not renewing their contract with OAN. And that was their white whale. That was their only big distributor. So good. They don't want to be involved with spreading lies. Good. Why are they hosting or why do they show Fox News? It's the same thing. We have to get to the point where disinformation isn't allowed. It's not news. It's lies. It's complete and utter lies. It's been going on for years, as we know, since, Rupert Murdoch, he proposed it to Nixon. GOP TV, but it was always meant to be lies. It's not just a lens through, or they're looking at current events and political events through a conservative lens. That's not what they're doing. They are outright spreading misinformation, just like the fascists they're kissing cousins in Germany. That's what they're doing. And years ago, that study that I cite all the time of regular viewers of Fox News are less informed than people who watch no news at all. The study appeared in that socialist magazine known as Business Insider. So, that was years ago. Why wasn't that an alarm bell? Why didn't, okay, if we were stronger as Democrats, as normal people, as if I had my way, if Barack Obama, remember when Barack Obama kicked Fox News to the back of the room or something, and then the other media outlets all banded together and said, this is oppression of the press or silencing the press, we won't stand for it. And they said, well, this isn't news, this is a propaganda outlet. And then what did the Obama administration do? Of course, they relented. They conceded. They conceded to everything that the Republicans do, because if we're nice to the Republicans, maybe they'll be nice to us. That's the strategy. It's still the strategy for many of these old school Democrats that really need to get the hell out. They think, I mean, that's really what the strategy of the questioners in the press conference with Joe Biden, that's the agenda they're pushing. It's the, how are you going to unify the country? You got to unify by doing everything the Republicans want, right? You're going too far left with all of the things, all of the provisions that the American people want and need. More than one need. I mean, they need it. We need it for democracy. That's what Joe Biden. I mean, I was appreciative that he said, Joe Biden, when Joe Biden said that his Build Back Better plan will rectify the problems they're talking about. And it's true. Don't apologize. But and he didn't. I'm not saying he did. But don't give me the bullshit that somehow the Republicans are gonna fucking work with him. If he made it, what could he do? If he gave them what? Then they'd be able to vote for it. No, they're dedicated to the death of democracy, and they smell. They can't spell, and they smell blood in the water. That's it. They're not letting up. Okay.
Saying, quote, it was not Antifa at the Capitol. And another Trump supporter saying they, quote, proudly take responsibility for storming the castle. Carlson also likes to go full Orwell, claiming the insurrection was not an insurrection.
Wait, hold on. I hear you, Terry. Terry is talking about Tara Jr. He sounds like he's in some kind of distress. I know. But trust me, he has been assessed physically for all of his vital organs and everything going on. That's all good except for the allergies. So I don't know. I think it's. And he goes to I take him to the vet regularly. I'm not concerned that he's, that there's some kind of physical thing beyond the allergies at this point. And I have asked because it's not normal. This is not him. He's usually, but I think what happened when Ray came home, you guys remember he came off the street. So even though he was isolated for a long time before I started to introduce them, when they finally did meet, both Tara Jr. and Francis Jr. got very sick. The two of them they had some kind of flu, and they were really, really sick. What plugs? Take those plugs out? Take those plugs in? What do you mean, River? Take out those plug-ins. What plug-ins? What are you talking about? Anyway, so I think that Tara Jr., associates Ray with being sick. So all of a sudden he sees this other creature, and then he's got very sick. So I think that's what happened. So he has a negative view of him. It's not like it's constant. They don't fight like with claws. He just hisses at him all the time. It's really annoying. He jumps. If I'm laying in the bed and Tara Jr. jumps on the bed and Ray jumps on the bed, Junior's like shut the fuck up already. It's been a year. All right. And I calm him. It's okay. I love him. I don't want to lose him. I want him to be happy. Trust me, I do. And I'm not going to be well. If something did happen to him, let's not talk about it. Take those. Oh, is that what you're talking about? Take out those plugins. You think that's doing something bad? They are bad. The plugins for cats are bad. Okay, I'll take them out. I'll give it a try. Maybe something's like not sitting well with them. Yeah, it's definitely, there's some jealousy. And the other thing is, when if I'm petting Ray, I could see Junior like he's jealous. I can feel it. He walked into I have a one bedroom, so we can't really go far. And he walked into the bedroom one day, and I felt like I was caught with a lover, by my husband or something. He walked in, it was like, gung, 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 gung. But I try to, I feed them treats. When Ray jumps on the bed, I have treats. I have treats in a drawer next to my bed. Because if Ray jumps on the bed and the growling starts, I'm like, oh, it's good. Ray is good. It's okay. And I give them treats. All right. This is cat time, too. It's always cat time. It's cat time. It's therapy. It really is. Doesn't this feel like therapy? A little bit? Or not? Maybe it's just me. I think it's therapy.
Oh, it was an insurrection. So how many of the participants in that insurrection have been charged with insurrecting, with sedition, with treason? 0.
Bullshit.
Cue the Fox backup singers.
No one has been charged
God,
with
this
sedition
guy.
or insurrection.
What's wrong with them? Just the deadness of them. The dead eyes. Just this guy here. He looks like a corpse to me. I have a ghostly pallor, I know. I have the pigment of Casper the ghost, really. But just him, the smug. What's with that? But he's dead. They look dead. They have dead eyes. They're they all have dead eyes. If you zoom in, we've done it on the show. We zoomed in on Twitler's eyes. He's got dead eyes. He's dead. He's dead inside. They're gross. That's because what's what happens when greed is your only value. It's never enough. Never enough. And you're spiritually sick. That's what they are. They are spiritually sick. All right. Gutfield with exclamation point. Gutfield. Whee! Let's kick down on some old people. Let's smack that cat food out of their hands. Whatever. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Granny. You can't afford what? You can't afford Blue Buffalo. You gotta have Friskies, Granny. Ha 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 ha. Sucks to be you. That's the American way, right? Fuck e pluribus unum. Sucks to be you. Ugh. That's the Fox News mantra. Just look at his dead eyes. It's true. Look at his eyes. Do you see life in those eyes? Do you see light? They're just dead. Look, staring. 2 black holes from hell. Right? Yeah, gutless, Haiku says. That's right. Gutless. Yeah, you know why they're gutless? Because they're all vaxxed. They're fully vaxxed. They wear masks. Oh, yeah. This is in New York. You think these fuckers go to Starbucks without a mask? No. Oh, well, they probably would. You see, that's where they're fighting for freedom. They fight for freedom on the front lines of where? Target, where they harass people. That's what it means to be a Republican. Now you're just you're a troll. You're a walking, breathing, lifeless troll. I mean, dead inside troll. That's all it is, and that's what, when that Madison Cawthon joker was cleaning his gun during during his job. Yeah. He's supposed to be doing his job, cleaning his fucking gun. It's a joke. They're jokers. This is, he's gonna own the libs. That's owning the libs. That's all they got. So people are gonna put those pricks back in charge? I don't think so. That's the only way these filthy fascists are gonna win, is if they cheat. So what they're doing is nullifying the outrage too, if they are successful, thanks to Manchin and Sinema. And when the election is stolen from us, like it was in 2000, and it's been stolen all along, these fuckers have committed treason as an election strategy. That's all. Treason, they don't care. And the thing that makes me pissed off, beyond being normally pissed off, is that the Democrats, throughout this history, have responded with impotence, really, with fecklessness. Oh yeah, they are all the way enabling these bastards. Because, they're sick too, some of them. Some sicker than others, for sure. But, seriously, the guy's eyes are dead. Am I wrong? Look at them. What about your eyes, you dumb Casper-looking bitch? You look like Casper with a fucking mop on her head. Okay, well, my eyes have life. See? That's what being alive looks like.
Has anybody been charged with sedition? Nobody. Has anybody been charged with treason? Nobody. So why do they keep calling it an insurrection?
How many times do words like insurrection, sedition, or treason appear in Biden's own DOJ indictments against the January 6 rioters? The answer, 0.
Just last week, Fox's Brit Hume tweeted,
hold my
quote,
beer.
"Let's base our view on whether January 6 was an insurrection, on whether those arrested are charged with insurrection. So far, none has been." Tweets that don't age well for 200, please, because 3 hours later, the DOJ announced an indictment charging 11 people with seditious conspiracy, and you know who says it was an insurrection? Them. Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes, quote, "You can call it an insurrection or you can call it a war or a fight." His co-defendant, Kelly Meggs, wrote on Facebook, quote, "Wait for the 6th when we are all in D.C. to insurrection." Rhodes and Meggs have both pled not guilty. Still, alleged insurrectionists have a greater handle on the truth than their biggest cheerleader. who, according to a federal judge, can't be trusted farther than he can throw his pom-poms. Fox's own lawyers argued as much in a defamation suit against the network. Successfully, they argued. The judge in that case quoting their apparently convincing argument, quote, "The general tenor of the show should then inform a viewer that he is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary."
Look at that.
And Fox's own lawyers argued that any reasonable viewers arrive with an appropriate amount of skepticism about the statements that Tucker Carlson makes.
That should be on every channel all the time whenever Fox is brought up, and it also would be a great justification for getting rid of them off of your cable platforms. They're not, because they're disingenuous. This is not how they're presenting themselves. They're presenting themselves as news. They're not news. There should be a disclaimer on it. Any reasonable viewer arrives with an appropriate amount of skepticism about the statements he makes. That's Fox News. That's the lawyers from Fox News. That's their defense. In court, they once again said, we're a bunch of liars. This is not the first time they went to court and said we're a bunch of filthy fascist liars. The problem with us, with Democrats, is because from then, the Democrats should have been hammering it every time they get in front of a camera. You saw Trump. You saw that Twitler asshole. You're fake news. You are fake news. Well, we got some fake news. We heard the call. The call is coming from inside the offices of Fox News. Say, I'm sorry. This is not news. You, right here, the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, according to Fox News' own lawyers, this is not the prosecution. This is their defense. We are liars. And the reason they can get away with that is because they know that the dumbasses will not be reading anything other than what they tell them to read. They won't be tuning in to news. They're not reading the Washington Post or New York Times or any reputable newspaper, or Common Dreams or Salon or Tarabuster.com. I'm just, whatever. You know what I'm saying. They're reading, Red State and OAN, whatever what's that other one? What's not OAN? That's a cesspool. There are so many. I was just on, we could do that later. That might be fun. I was on the Reddit, the conservative Reddit channel. It's great. It is great for studying chimpanzees, even though I'm really up to here with them. If I was Jane Goodall, that's where I would go, right? I am the Jane Goodall of. I study chimpanzees in my. It's a research thing. Like Jane Goodall studied apes, I study chimpanzees. And they're on there, they were going off on Howard Stern, saying that Howard Stern is, what were they saying? Oh, I thought he was cool once, or whatever that was, whatever. And then, I thought that Howard thought that health care is a right. Meaning, they have no responsibility. Remember when John McCain, during the debates, with Barack Obama, they asked, the question was, is healthcare a right or a responsibility? Of course, Obama said it's a right, and the filthy maverick said it's a responsibility, because your health, your problem, e pluribus unum and all. And they were saying, they thought healthcare was a right. See, they want all the benefits of civilization and none of the responsibilities we have to each other. That's why they're not patriots. This is not patriotism. It's parasites. It's parasitism? Is that a word? It's not. I wish it was, because would be a good slogan. Yeah, they're not patriots. They're parasites. Maybe that'll work too. That's it. They want all the benefits of civilization, but none of the responsibilities. And everything is wrapped up. It speaks volumes. They're, I don't want to be uncomfortable, bills. Mommy, I'm an oppressor. Mommy, I went to school today and they said I was an oppressor. Really, Johnny? Get my gun. These libs have gone too far. We're going right down to the QAnon mess hall or QAnon offices, and we are going to file a complaint. And then we're gonna go kill without mercy. That was one of the chants we had in the army. It wasn't a chant. It was a response. It was in basic training. They would say, "What makes the green grass grow? Blood, blood, blood makes the green grass grow." That was the response. "What is the purpose of the bayonet? To kill without mercy." Hey, I had to do it. Yeah, it was kind of weird as a Buddhist. Because I was a Buddhist then, and then running through the woods, yelling kill without mercy. Well, it was only a couple of days when you had to do bayonet training, even though when will we need it? We'd have to stab dummies. I don't know if they still do it. It wasn't that long ago.
Wishful thinking, perhaps, because according to Pew Research, Republicans predominantly get their political news from Fox, far more than from any other right-wing cable channels. When Ted Cruz needs the biggest audience possible to self-flagellate for referring to January 6th as terrorism, where does he go?
I'll cover that so they won't.
You called this a terror attack when by no definition was it a terror attack.
Hit
That's
me
a
with
lie.
copyright, maybe?
You told that lie on purpose, and I'm wondering why.
The way I phrased things yesterday, it was sloppy and it was frankly dumb. And
I don't buy that.
Whoa. Hey, hold up.
Before you went to the Senate.
He won't let him do that to Putin, right? Let him do that to Erdogan or what's the guy? It was Erdogan, right? Fucker. Let him. No, of course they don't do that. They just lick their taints. They're disgusting, these bastards. It was wrong. I said it wrong. I was wrong. They're such goddamn lick spittles. It's embarrassing. I don't get it. How this guy has any integrity at all. How? How does he stand up and look at himself in the mirror? By being such a piece of wasted human DNA and so goddamn full of shit. How? It's also an example of, yes, Newsmax. Thank you, Stephanie. Another cesspool. It's an example that they're the worst people, and the system is set up for the worst people it is set up to attract the worst people, and god damn it. We'll do it on the next show. I told you guys. We were talking about this last week. That book, Power, Who Gets Power, it was called Corruptible, Who Gets Power, and what it does, and what it does to them, or something like that. I listened to this book on tape. It's great. I told you guys I listen to a lot of books on tape because who the hell has the time? You see, I live in this shithole country. I don't have time to sit around reading. That would be nice. I would love that. Sometimes I think I'll do that, and I'm exhausted when I sit down. I'm like, because if I'm not sitting down, snoring, I'm doing something to, keep all the fucking balls in the air. That's what she said, too. To juggle everything, you know what I mean? It's exhausting. But that's what civilization would be like if we had one worth anything. That, well, if we didn't just exist to make rich people richer so they can funnel money into Ted Cruz's mouth and anybody else, they can buy politicians and corrupt the government to ensure that fascism is successful. And they were almost there.
Supreme Court contender. You take words as seriously as any man
This
who's
guy's
ever
a
served in the Senate.
Supreme Court
and
contender?
every word you
Jesus.
repeated that phrase. I do not believe
That's
that you
how
used that
fucked up we
accidentally.
are. In what
Just don't.
world? I'm sorry.
And when Fox needs to fill up its primetime lineup, who do they install? Tucker Light, who has fashioned himself in the image of Fox's demigod of delusion and disinformation.
This may be a lot of things, this moment we're living through, but it is definitely not about Black lives.
These protesters and BLM
Dead
activists
eyes.
don't care about the evidence, and they don't care about justice either.
At this point,
Scumbag.
there is no
Dead
remaining
eyes.
doubt that Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense.
This is a clear-cut case of self-defense.
Actually, it's a clear-cut case of how to cultivate an echo chamber or a gremlin. Water it, feed it, until it multiplies. The only thing that stops it, sunlight. Joining me now is a former political editor for Fox.
Okay, here we go. So I appreciated that segment. I was like, good, they're calling out the liars. That's what we need. Because we need normal people, the independents who are normal, and there are more of us than there are of them, because, we're on the right side of history and all that. So I was like, great, that's good. We got to keep this going, keep the truth out there to just nonstop to counteract the lies of Fox News and the filthy fascists, the Fox so-called news, and which shouldn't be considered news anywhere. Okay, so then they have this guy on, a Republican.
News, who was fired after the 2020 election when the network projected Arizona for Joe Biden. Chris Steyerwalt is with us. Welcome, Chris. Thanks for being here.
Great to be with you. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
A long way to go, I will say.
So happy.
So where
I
do
could
you
shit
think we
myself.
are?
I'm so happy.
Specifically looking at Fox, when it comes to disinformation, is it a better place or is it a worse place than back in 2020?
Well, I don't know. I've been gone for about a year since they fired me, and I'm in a better place, so that's good.
I wish
look,
Trump was in a
I
better
think
place.
What people have to bear in
You know what I mean?
mind when you're watching television news, when you're consuming news on any platform, is what's the profit model? How do people want you to receive this? What is the desired outcome for you? And a problem that Americans have, and Fox is certainly a considerable part of this, problem that Americans have today is people don't want to hear things they don't want to hear. And if you say something like, I don't know, Joe Biden's going to win Arizona, if you say something that makes people upset, they might change the channel, and that's not a good model. So in the news business, we've got to get better at telling hard truths to people instead of always prioritizing profits.
Look, some of your former colleagues at Fox, they do tell the hard truths. They do report the truth. I know folks at Fox who are doing good journalism. They're few and far between. There's fewer of them than there used to be. How hard is it to be one of those folks?
Well, I don't know how it is now. I still have a lot of friends who are there. I know that it can be challenging. Journalism is always hard if you're doing it right. If you're doing it right these days, it's especially hard. There are certainly people who are still at Fox that are trying to do the right stuff, trying to do the good thing, and I wish them the best, because people of goodwill, people who revere the Constitution, people who love America, people who love Americans, have got to work together, regardless of what network they're on or what party they're in, because the threats to the republic, the threats to democracy are too real,
coming from one
and
side,
we've got to treat them
not both sides.
This is such a difficult problem to solve for. I mean, you're talking about people, Democrats and Republicans, who need to work together, right?
fuck
People on
outta
different
here,
sides of
right?
the political spectrum, they need to work together.
We do?
There doesn't seem to be a huge...
We don't, at this point, how are we going to work? with them. They're not working with us. I'm sorry. We have to crush them legally and peacefully. And then what's left of that friggin' death cult will be crushed, and the normal ones can rise from the ashes. That's really what has to happen. And these assholes are talking about, how are you going to work together? We cannot work with them. They haven't been working with us for how many years now? My entire goddamn life, for the most part. It's only gotten worse in the I mean, for real. This has been going on since Reagan, these scums. What are you talking about? The liars. I mean, the whole scummy destruction of the country and the institutions, the deconstructing the administrative state, which is fucking fascism, you pricks. Not you, him, Republicans. I mean, that's been going on for years. When Reagan put the foxes in charge of the hen house, he started that. But, we all gotta say, as Ronald Reagan said, right? But that used to drive me fucking nuts. Obama, the great Ronald Reagan, would say, you can fool some of the people all the time. And all of the people some of the time. But you're a fool. You can't be fooled again. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you quoting Reagan? That's why I was happy when Joe Biden quoted FDR. I was like, I almost fainted. I hadn't heard a Democrat quote FDR. I couldn't remember. What are you doing, Democrats? Look, are you not listening to me? No, the right wing, the corporate media will tell you the problem is we're going too far left. We are so far to the right, we are in the middle of a fascist coup, you scumbags. If we don't go to the left, we're going to tip the fuck over. The problem is the Democrats abandoned the New Deal and started trying to act like goddamn Republican light because they too wanted to suck on those legal bribes. That's it. They wanted to play nice, like Hillary Clinton saying she wanted to be the senator, or she wanted to be the president of all people. The left, she wanted to be Wall Street and Main Street's president. Well, that's not going to happen, honey. Not just because, it will happen, because this country is goddamn swirling the bowl, but of corruption and greed. Everything can be boiled down to that. Greed is the only value. And when the goddamn Democrats buy into that, and then they promote it, the same thing. What is that? My big bug up my ass is healthcare. And when the Democrats go, I don't want anybody to lose what their plans. Unions fought for these plans. Well, what is that but a divisive message? It's divisive, and it's also selfish, and says, I got mine. Sucks to be you. I don't give a shit about you. You are incidental. You're nothing to me. Own the libs. Own everybody. Own who the fuck I can. Because maybe it's me next time. This is what these filthy dumbasses don't understand. Or don't want to understand. Because they're dumbasses. But then, let's go on GoFundMe and all that shit. But that's the Democrats promoting that shit. Biden did it during the debates. He does it all the time. He hasn't done it recently. And that Pete Buttigieg, who's another annoying person to me. Yes, it's great. He's gay. He's openly gay. Great. You're welcome, Pete Buttigieg. I was on the front lines. You're welcome. Okay? But now I got to deal with him. He just turned 40. What? Give me a break. That's white privilege. He's white privilege walking. White privilege walk. That's what they should shout when he walks. White privilege walking. You tell me somebody with darker pigment or a female could be the mayor of a small town. I mean, he's underwhelming in my opinion, but whatever. And then run for president. These people there's something wrong with them. I mean, the arrogance of that. To think you can go from mayor to fucking president. But also the arrogance and the stupidity of this what's it, like the somehow amateurs, people who have no experience are valued above people who have experience. I don't get that, but I mean, as far as politicians are concerned, the reason there's that opinion is because of the corruption, the money in politics. Take that out. I mean, do you understand that in places where democracy is functioning, they look at this as the worst case scenario. They see this system. Nobody's like, oh, we want what they have. No one. No developing country. We know that democracies are on the decline, thanks to the filthy fascists of the world and their enablers. We know that, but but even before that, I remember reading an article like 10 years ago saying that, America, a beacon of freedom. No developing country or wannabe democracy looks to America as a model. It's like next. Just like you don't see, we're supposed to be the greatest healthcare system in the world. We have the greatest. I'm sure Ted Cruz is jerking off tonight thinking greatest healthcare, right? But we don't. No, if we had the greatest healthcare in the world, why aren't the people of England saying, fuck this NHS. We want the American model. No, they're not. When the right wingers in England try to pull the dirty tricks to privatize the NHS, the people are up in arms. We're like, they don't want to be like America. They're like, fuck that. And it's cursing time, I guess. They don't want it. Why? And if you just go online, you could see the comments of every other country, the people from other countries, from Canada, from England, just pick a country, from Costa Rica, from Ecuador, from Estonia. I think they might be, wait, how many people, wait. It doesn't matter, whatever. They're not, but the point is, no one is saying, let's abandon our system for what they have. It's the greatest. If it was the greatest, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Appetite for that, or you have very few Republicans who want to do that. What do you think?
The great Peggy Noonan coined a phrase, patriotic grace, and I love it so much. Patriotic grace is when you don't kick the other guy when he's down. Right now, the Republicans have a problem with, I looked it up, it's in the new Suffolk poll, 61% of Republicans said they're very concerned about the future of democracy. That's just crackers. That's a big problem for the Republican Party, but it's a big problem for Democrats. It's a big problem for the whole country. When I watched what President Biden did in Atlanta, divisive, demagogic, unreasonable speech that he gave in Atlanta to try to push this voting rights legislation, I thought, Jeebers Crow, if you can't figure out a way to put forward legislation that senators like Mitt Romney or Ben Sasse, people who voted to convict Donald Trump, if you can't figure out a piece of legislation that will unite people of goodwill around
been saying. People of goodwill, give me one, name one. So now it's that Joe Biden's voting rights, well, trying to fix the mistakes, well, fix the Republican dirty tricks. It's not a mistake. This is deliberate on their part. That John Roberts inflicted on this country, because every time a Republican does something for this country, nobody is like, great. Well, not nobody. The majority of the country is getting kicked in the ass somehow. That's what they're doing. They're funneling more money to the top and they're fucking us over. And people aren't like celebrating. Yay! The great tax scam. Yay! More billionaires are created. And the American middle class slips below 50%. And now we're even lower. It's going lower. So I don't know about now. Maybe something's different. But as far as Joe Biden, well, like he was talking about raising 40, what was it? Lowering the poverty rate by 40%. But that's only because of the stimulus, the direct payments to people who, which was goddamn done away with by Joe Manchin. Yeah, we didn't want anybody to have an entitlement mentality. Yeah, he's looking out for us. It's sort of like when the enslaved people, it was really for their best. Because who would teach them the dignity of work but white men who were the best? They're the best people ever. The good parts of slavery. Why don't you teach the good parts ever? You gotta be balanced. If you have a negative view of slavery, you gotta have a positive view. Now, guys, you might think that that it's a bridge too far to get to a point where the Republicans are openly advocating for enslaving people. But take this to its conclusion. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Just like we thought, we still think, people think they would never propose ending child labor laws. But they're doing it. They do it periodically. And I would be interested to know what would happen if a child labor bill went to the Supreme Court. What would the Republicans do? I wonder. Amy Coney, bitch-face Barrett, and no integrity Gorsuch, and drunken frat boy rapist Kavanaugh? What would they do? Well, they all have no integrity, of course. The child labor laws were routinely passed in this country, and they went to the Supreme Court and they were struck down. The Supreme Court said you couldn't tell business that they couldn't hire an 8-year-old or a 6-year-old. No, you can't. You can't interfere with some fucker, some parasite siphoning life out of their fellow humans. You can't. This is the way it's always been. That's what the Republicans think. That's what they think. They're sick, guys. They are sick. I've been saying it for years. They're sick. They lack the maturity to function in a free democratic society. That's why they can only go, USA, USA. They only know the caricature of America. They don't know, they hate America. They hate her. Talking about America's growing pains is not negative. It's actually it's a patriotic imperative, because we want to have a functioning democracy that works for all. So we need to talk about it. We need to rectify it through law school classes that discuss how legal, how human beings have been legally put into second-class status in this country. We'll never be free if we can't be just equal. And that's why what I talk about on the show, healthcare, things like that, they have to be universal. We got to get to the point. And the Democrats have to, it will get there. It will. But we said it here first. These are not nice ideas or fine, fair ideas. These are patriotic imperatives. You want to have a functioning democracy? That's what it's going to take. This is the way Joe Biden should talk as well, without the F word, maybe here and there. Obviously, the Republicans. Remember, well, Trump, he cursed, and they were all, hey! Now, let Biden curse. Let's see, right? I think he said hell. What the hell? I mean, heck.
Cause you got a serious problem. Republicans of goodwill need help from Democrats of goodwill, because that's the coalition that will matter for the 2022 election and the 2024 election.
Not her,
is
him.
Bringing those people together to conduct these
What
elections
people?
fairly, securely, and appropriately.
So what?
Yeah,
wait.
We can all use a little more grace, I will say.
Grace?
Chris Steyerwalt, thank you for being with us.
I mean, I'm so sick of this shit. Who on the left, so-called left, doesn't show grace to these assholes? Who? Name names. I could tell you Marjorie Taylor Greene, Madison Cawthorn, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, fucking Ted Cruz. No, I mean, not literally. On and on. The rogues gallery of goons, freaks, geeks, haints, taints, people who should be left in history's trash pile. I don't know, that's where they crawled out of. History's goddamn steaming pile of poo trash heap. We fought these fuckers in the last century. We thought we crushed them, but, we didn't. Because of greed. Money and politics created this. That's what brought us here. That's why Nancy Pelosi has got to go. I know people are like, yay, Nancy. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. Sometimes, whatever. There's part of me that understands the right-wingers have been attacking her for years because, of course, she's a female. That's annoying, of course, but I've been attacking her too because she's I don't know, greedy or something. Because she's out of touch. Oh my God! What? Oh, I thought I ended the show by accident. There's only one button that will end the show, and sometimes I fear I've hit it. I didn't hit it. I just shut Skype. Shadowstar A says, I've heard that tucked away in the voting rights bill was a provision that would have prevented a third party from forming. I don't know. I don't know about that. I didn't know. But we can talk. I could do some looking into it. Oh, look. Hello, JD. Who's here? Wait a minute. Hi, Ed the Second. Did I say thank you? I did, I think. Because I remember your little emoji. That's very cute. Like Shadowstar Ace's emoji. With the little coffee guy. And thank you, JD, for your super chat and pounds. Fucking bastard. You lucky bastard. And thank you, Pookie's Mama Irene. Happy Friday, Tarabuster and all. And thank you, River, for your super chat. And for your advice about taking out the feelaways for the cat. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe that'll help. This is new behavior. You guys know that, because Tara Jr. would sit here a lot and not act out like that. So I know something is not right. And I love him. I spend all time with him. You don't even realize. You don't know. I sleep with him in my arms, okay? I love him. He's definitely jealous, and I want him to know that it's okay. I love him. He's the best. I'm gonna miss him if anything ever happens. I can't help but think like that because I have this fear. That's all. Sometimes it's come to fruition. You know, people just and abandonment, of course, being abandoned. I don't know. So much work being alive, isn't it? Not that I want the alternative. Until we're done here, making the world better. But okay, so this guy, you heard the end there. Was I tripping or having a flashback or something of people of goodwill? People of goodwill. He needs to get together with Republicans of goodwill. Which ones? To pass the bills that are meant to be a stopgap on the treacherous assaults that we're experiencing right now. Thanks to Republicans, we didn't have to. We wouldn't even need it if it wasn't possible. I mean, if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't need it if it wasn't for. Where did that come? We wouldn't need it if it wasn't possible. I don't know where that came from. We wouldn't need it if they weren't so abhorrent. Oh man, I'm so sorry, River. River says, my cat Stanley has cancer. And I know life sucks. It just, it sucks less when we're together. It does. I mean, I hear you. I'm like, I have negativity. That's my problem is I know this for a fact because of my therapy. I go to negativity. That's like, for example, one day, this was like I was like 20 years old, and a friend of mine said to me, you know what the best day of my life was? And then she told me some story, and I was like, you know what the worst day of my life? And it was like I just went right there. And she goes, did you notice? I said, what's the best day of my life was? And you said, what the worst day was? And I was like, yeah. But I didn't know at the time. I was young. But a lot of suffering was ahead. And so I have to train myself all the time not to be negative, only because I don't want to feel like shit. And that's why I mean, nobody does, right? And as far as I don't want to start crying, but with the animals, that's really their only drawback, besides being annoying sometimes, is that their lives are so short. And I've learned, everything is on loan. Look at me. God. Stop it. So it's a hard lesson all the time. It's not like I'm like, oh great, everything's on loan. I always have to remind myself everything is on loan. And no matter what, it's acceptance, really. I have to accept it and understand. Like I had a cat that died at age 1. I got him as a kitten from the North Shore Animal League, and one day I was taking him to the vet. It was vet day, so I had him and Tara Jr. going to the vet, And the little one was Francis Jr. And he was just going for his booster shots, checkup. Got him to the vet. The vet's like, something's wrong. And he was breathing like, and he was having a heart attack. And he fucking died, like right in front of me. I could not, it was like a year old. Kidding. It was horrible, horrible. Hold on. And I was thinking about it, and then of course I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and all that, thinking about it while I'm doing that, and I'm like, if I knew that he would only live a year, would I have adopted him? And I thought, yeah, even though it hurts. Oh God, hold on. Well, I'm keeping it small on purpose. So, because, at least he was loved. Right? For that year, he was safe. Boom. All right, stop. What the fuck? The show is nuts. Don't blame me. I was actually on the phone yesterday with another person who does TNR for New York City. Well, she's actually the person who works there. That helps a lot. We were talking about, there's a new cat, and somebody, I don't know if it was a dumped cat or something, we have to assess it. And I was talking about another cat that lives in the community, and how I feel so bad for him, and he just looks like he's been through the mill. And I just I can't even talk about this cat. All right, stop it. Look at it. Francis, get over here. Somebody help. Someone. Where's my emotional support cats? They don't care. All right, let's stop talking about that. Man. Yeah. It sucks. It's like, it's just facing life on life's terms, and it really blows. But that's like the rules of life, We're all subject to them. All right. Anyway, what time is it? Let me go to bed. I think I've cried. Once you start crying, I think the show's over. Oh, brother. Who's listening after 3 hours anyway? Just the Tarabuster community. Guys, we will win. And Shadowstar A says, Tara, they didn't get COVID from Ray, did they? I don't know. They had some kind of flu. They might have been COVID. And they were very sick. With a fever. They had fevers. They had, throwing up. It might have been some kind of COVID. Whatever it was, it was something Ray brought in from outside that they weren't exposed to, and both at the same time seriously sick. And I guess they could have died, but I took them right away to the vet. I didn't know they had such high fevers. But first it was until I got to the vet, and they were like, he's got 104 fever. They were a little bit warmer anyway, but that's still high. And it was Tara Jr. that had the sickness, and then it was Francis. It was kind of overlapping a bit. When Jr. was getting better, Francis started showing the symptoms of, it was like people with fevers, sleeping and, of course, being hot. Not hot, but warm. And others, I don't know, whatever. I knew they had, that Francis had it too. But yeah, and then they took, oh my God, that's another story. Jesus Christ. Because I went to Blue Pearl. That's a very nice animal hospital here. It's kind of a chain. And my vet in my neighborhood sends me to Blue Pearl if they need tests and whatnot. They have all the equipment there, but they're very expensive. Sometimes if they're sick in off hours, you have to go there. It's like the emergency room. And I went to them with Tara Jr. initially, and the lady was like, we think he has, and she mentioned this thing. I can't remember what it was now. And I looked it up on my phone, and it said always fatal. And I was just like, ah! And I had to go to they were sending me in as an emergency to the place in Manhattan that had a better machine for something that they had to test for this thing that was always fatal. And I was like going from Queens to Manhattan, like, ah! I was on the phone to my aunt, it's always fatal. And I couldn't take it. And then I was crying at the place, and it was COVID, so everything was outside, and I was just like, on the phone. And when they got the test, and she called right away, was like, it's okay, it's not that. But why did she tell me that? Why did she have to tell me that in Queens? I don't know. Anyway. So I was like, oh, I have him still. I love him. Yes, that's a good idea. How about trying acupuncture with him? That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Yes, Shadow Star Ace, I know. You said, darn, I'm really sorry, Tara. I've been through a lot with Comet, too. Little Comet. Yes, because you got Comet. And Comet was sick when you got her. Is it her or he? I don't remember. That's a lot. That's true. I gotta look that up. Acupuncture. That's a good idea. Bet you I can find someone close here. This is New York. I gotta look that shit up. Thank you. Good idea, dear. Alright, guys, that's enough. What a day. It's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go lay down. Anybody got any good TV shows? Yes, Prozac, too. Haiku. I gotta get him on. He's not on Prozac. Francis is on Prozac. I gotta put him on Prozac. I gotta put him on Prozac now. I gotta put him on Francis's Prozac. Holy shit. Thank you. I'm sorry. How is she doing now? Shadow Star Ace says she was seriously ill. Or very ill. She doing better? I hope. Yes, acupuncture and Prozac. That's a good idea. It's happening. This will happen. I'm gonna make it happen soon. Very soon. In between all my appointments. I have a lot of appointments now. I have to go to the fibromyalgia specialist. I have fucking fibromyalgia. I'm old now. I feel old. And Shadow Star Ace says, no Prozac. Why? Well, Francis is on Prozac. Anyway. It seems to help him. He used to have like out of body crazy tantrums. It was crazy. Yes, she's doing well. Liver enzymes normal and acupuncture treatments every 2 months now, Shadow Star A says. That's great. That's good. So you're doing, so the acupuncture is working. I got to do that. And I think that's becoming more common in general for animals. So I don't think it should be hard to find somebody. All right, guys. I don't know. I watched a good show. I'll share. It was called Interrogation. I thought that was pretty good. Should check it out. I think it's on like CBS Now or Paramount TV or something. And anybody else got anything good that I can distract myself from my life from with and from? How about what? I feel like I watched everything. That's why I'm asking too. Oh God. Sinema. It says slap in the face. Arizona Dems unload on Sinema over voting rights. Ugh. Good, but whatever. She's going to be a Republican. We have to. That's why we need more Dems in the Senate too. So it's got to be on. I really hope that the Republicans don't vote. Of course, they're dissuaded from voting, and or they're suffering from COVID at home. And Democrats, we have to do everything to overcome the Republican dirty tricks. This is a tarathon, yes. Guys, it's really just hanging out right now, but I gotta go because I just gotta lay down, man. Ozark Servant? I don't know that. Boba? Oh, yes, I saw Don't Look Up, Peter. Yeah, that was great. Wheel of Time. That's good? I keep seeing the ad. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll watch an episode now. So, yes. I do that too. Pookie's mom, Irene, says Audible has free audio books often. I listen to them all the time. I have a subscription. You know, I do the credits. And I always have. I'm always listening to something. But I usually do that during the day when I'm doing other things, work and whatnot. So that feels like it's like I'm studying, you know. Yes, progressives need to start running for office. Yeah. Flood the zone. All right, my loves, my friends, guys, I will see you later. I see people are dropping off like flies. We will win. We will. We will. I hope I'm alive to see it. Meaning, it's soon. Not that I'm dying anytime soon. I don't know. Whatever. Knock on wood. We're on the right side of history. And I want to thank Thomas Reynolds for being on the show. For coming on the show, for the great conversation, putting up with my filibusters. But, I mean, I don't know. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. We will win. My name is Tara Devlin, and I guess we'll see you. I see you in a couple of days, maybe. Okay? I'll see you. No, not Saturday, remember. No more Saturday at this point. But maybe Monday, Tuesday. Who knows? Let's do it. Thank you, guys. Become a patron. Well, too late. All right. See you later.